I'm really sorry about that. I wish we had another way around. We thought it would have worked beforehand, but unfortunately, you know, when it came to actually doing it, it didn't. This is the first time for us, just like it's the first time for some of you. So thank you for being here, though, and
so we don't need these.
Play as best as you can. If you have your phone that it can go into, it should work that way. Sorry about that.
No worries.
Then we just have to talk. We just have to talk. True. Then I can.
Respond to the mouth.
No, I can't. Like a song.
Because I think it's not working.
Unless they fix Zion, we don't need audio.
Where? How does it go overheating? Where?
And it also does what it was. Did I not do that after? Yeah. Look at all this
Yeah, oh yeah.
You're spending money. Why am I so weak?
No, I have my own phone. Or I think I gave it to you.
Yeah, that's you, Luke. Why am I so weak? I didn't know I was weak. What? Am I weak? Yeah, I can do that too. So. No worries.
Oh, do you need the...
No, I don't.
Okay, cool.
Honestly, this is my FPS number one. Use the good pieces. Yeah, I know.
This is a better mod than mine. This is way better than my one.
Obviously, lethal tempo. Nah, press check. Nah, we got this.
We have different modders.
I don't know, 165?
Wait, what's hers? Like, what your monitor supports? I don't know.
Can we just search info? No, it looks like the same.
Yeah, this is 165 Hz.
I mean, this one is 165. I mean, for the setting.
Chris isn't on the team.
Yeah, but that's not what your monitor is.
Yeah.
This supports 165.
What's your handle for the game, please?
What's wrong with that?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Played as much. Just because he's a
Well, I guess the mic is not...
You'll have to.
Yeah. We tried to get the rest of the crew out.
I'll always get like a sunset.
Yeah, I tried to get the girls here.
Oh, yeah, my bad. I gotta tell you what to do. Alright, what do I do? Play an idea that's
Yeah, no, after you played like early in the season.
Oh, that's
Heroes. K-R. Yeah, K-I-R-O-H-S.
Yeah.
if there's
And then,
But I mean, I guess you can go in. I guess I'm
playing. She didn't.
like
Flash Ignite. So you want to go for the IRL? Yeah. Okay.
I need my monitor.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see something.
It was recorded.
I mean, the size is different. 32 inch. No, either this. What happens if I
Yeah. Oh, guys. Anyway, just.
Pardon?
What happens if I put my computer down?
I don't think. Yeah, I can ask if you change the setup, but I don't think you're able to.
Oh, guys. Anyway, you're like rude. Guys, you're like rude name. guys, like your root name is like streaming. So like if that's appropriate, change it right now.
Okay.
I change my runes every single time.
I think it's long and dry. What? I didn't. I have a Yuga GG. Let me check. Let me just.
I don't know. It's probably
Should be. Yeah. Leon the Glacial Mystery Yuga.
Here's my runes.
I'm so competitive.
If you want them.
I'm excited for it.
I want to turn this.
Share your.
I don't know the mouse.
You're acting like I am somehow less or not.
Oh my surprise.
That is OnlyFans.
I think they added some of my students too because I saw screenshots of language course.
Jin the Fleet, Pog Silver, Pog Cloud.
Yes, it's all pub.
Yeah, can I make it cute? Dude, this wander is too big. Messes up everything.
I did change my similar name.
Yes.
So it's like just like just.
You want to have the like TSN.
Yeah. I just my church name to WC name. Like so yeah. Like my username was Jada. I changed it to WPCMI.
Yeah. I was just gonna ask you about
They were all raving about the screen.
I never used curved screen.
I always. I care about
Does it feel good to use?
SKT One Rise, of course.
Not too bad. This looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Eat all your fries. Yeah. Can I eat your fries?
And this is totally like personal.
How did you know him?
Oh, right there.
How did you know him?
here. I'll pick up my those of you who don't know me, I'm Mr. James Young. I'm really convenient. The ones who send me cranky emails for the last 7 weeks, so you get to see me in person now finally. I'm going to start with round acknowledgement. The Manitoba High School Sports Association brings together a community of schools on the traditional land of the Winnipeg in Inawak and Dakota. Our competition is located on the homeland of Métis. We recognize that Manitoba is also the traditional land of the Anishinaabe and Dene. We respect the treaties made on this land and acknowledge the harms and mistakes of the past and present. We dedicate ourselves to defending the lands of Indigenous communities in a spirit of reconciliation and cooperation. Okay, so to get started, I'm going to call Port Richmond Collegiate Black up onto the stage, and I'm going to introduce them to everybody. So guys and girls in the crowd, you can come up on the stage. I'm going to introduce everybody.
Welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and for anybody who's coming out in person, we really appreciate it. My name is Riel, and I'm joined here by Yu Ming, and we are casting the final best of 5 of the day, the A-side League of Legends Provincial Finals here between Fort Richmond and Windsor Park. Very excited to see these two teams here. And we just had a banger of a series that went all the way to Game 5 where JH Bruns came on top in the B-side. Are we looking for that same kind of momentum into this series, hey?
Definitely. I definitely want to see a lot of team fights, a lot of hype team fights coming up from both teams. Definitely a higher level here for A side, and probably some more skill expression champs, or just skill expression in general.
Yeah, I hope so. We are getting to a bit of the higher ranks when it comes to League of Legends here, which means paying attention to who's really strong in the current meta, as well as, like you said, skill expression champs are certainly going to be an option, because we have no idea what these players are capable of. I'm so excited to get into it later. But yeah, we do have 2 full rosters here that were just introduced previously, and everything's being set up now. We just wanted to kind of break down everything that's going to happen. Again, this is another best of 5. Beside me here is the banner that is up for grabs, the championship. And from there on out, we'll go through hopefully another 5 games, because games that go all the way the matches that go all the way are always the most interesting, as we saw in our last series.
Definitely.
And for people who are wondering about our last series against Steinbeck and JH Bruns, yes, JH Bruns did come on top in Game 5 to win the series 3-2. And the MVP for the series, if you could guess, after someone who had 5 very strong games, was Patrick, the top laner for JH Bruns. Notably known for the Nasus, but also a Darius game as well as a Mordekaiser game. And it didn't matter who he was playing, he was coming out on top. So congratulations to JH Bruns, congratulations to Patrick, and of course the runner-up Steinbeck for a very valiant effort there, and a very entertaining series all around. So one thing I want to look towards coming up in this series, as we were talking about earlier before we got into Champ Select, a lot of the new sort of meta picks with the recent patch that came out. Of course, we were talking about Yasuo. We mentioned Lilia briefly for a second. I also wanted to kind of touch on Nico, who's sort of making a resurgence in the top lane because of the buffs to her W, her clone.
Nico is definitely pretty strong right now, but I think she can get pushed out by a lot of other meta picks right now. So she is a lot of a situational pick.
Yeah, and oh yeah, certainly, especially for the matchups where you have to play around the cooldown of your W, and if you can't really get out that very early phase of the game where you don't really have any damage on your auto attacks, it can be very difficult. A champion that I'm surprised we didn't see in the last series was Ari, who's been kind of rampaging the Rift ever since that we've got her rework come out.
Definitely. I think both mid laners last series didn't really have Ari as their comfort picks, so maybe landing a charm, landing a skill shot wasn't their preferred skill set. We definitely saw more Yasuos, more assassins being played, definitely more, I guess, fun champions and comfortable champions for them personally. Yeah,
certainly. Yeah, the Yasuo on Cheesy was nothing to sneeze about there. Very strong pick there from him. And yeah, as you were saying, we saw the counterplay from Yone, the one game that Cheesy wasn't playing Yasuo. Well, not the one game, but Cheesy was on Akali, and I was like, oh, it would have been so cool to see the Yasuo-Yone brother matchup there. But it wasn't meant to be. But yeah, both mid laners last series that we were saying, the Veigar in the first game, that was like permaban for the rest. But other than that, there was Akali, Yasuo, Yone, Silas, all very, like you said, fun champions when it comes to playing on the Rift. And yeah, it definitely showed its hand.
Definitely. Last series, we had a lot of scaling champs. All of the games went to basically 30 minutes. And a lot of champions who scaled did the best, like Nasus and Veigar.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, the average game like that, we don't have the stat for it, but yeah, as you're saying, I think every game went to at least 30 minutes in, which is crazy to think about. It was so close every single matchup. I think what I'm hearing now is that we're ready to move into Champ Select. It was very exciting. Game 1 of the championship here on the A-side finals between Windsor Park and Fort Richmond. We come here for the first band phase. First pick is going in the favor of Fort Richmond here, who are starting on blue side. And they're going to be taking out the LeBlanc first thing. Here you go. Interesting enough, Viego taking out, which is someone who is just coming hovering around in a pretty good spot ever since he was released.
Definitely. I think a LeBlanc ban is definitely a good choice there. LeBlanc can get really annoying definitely later on in the game, and even in earlier game, she definitely can stomp out a lane.
Oh yeah, one-shot potential for sure. It's going to get her out of the way, and the Akali, again, another very dangerous mid-lane ban that they're taking out. Wukong coming out, who's actually been making a little bit of a resurgence in the jungle recently, but again, a very good pick because you're banning him out from multiple lanes there. And the Diana ban coming out. Lots of champions that we were seeing played in the previous series. I wonder if they're kind of scouting out what seems to be really powerful, or if they maybe scouted out the teams each other.
All of these champions definitely are in the meta. All of them are basically top picks, do a lot of damage, do everything basically very well. And yeah, it's very good to ban them out.
Yeah, and it seems like here, like you said, all these champions are very meta, very common in the current state of the game, whereas in the last series we saw quite a bit of target banning, especially after game 1, that just kind of, they didn't want to play against this player on that specifically, where in this case they're just kind of taking out the really strong picks. So a Hecarim coming out here, which should be going in the hands of Newbie, I believe, who is the jungler for them. And then a follow-up looking to counterpick the jungle instantly. I thought we were going to see there, and they are opting for the Nocturne, also a really strong jungler right now with the State of Wit's End and Death's Dance as well.
Definitely. I haven't seen this matchup quite a lot, but I can imagine it seems pretty even.
For sure. Misfortune, again, really a relatively safe, but also just really strong overall AD carry, no matter the state of the game, and multiple builds that you can go as well, lethality or crit, often with the Kraken Slayer for crit, obviously. But yeah, we're looking here, again, hovering Sylas, Katarina. Very interested to see the matchups for the first game here as the teams sort of feel each other out. But yeah, it is Sylas locked in on the side of Fort Richmond. So that's going to be good. 2 Sylas games in a row. It's always fun to see the ultimates that they can take, especially with the Nocturne on the table as well.
Definitely.
We have the last round of picks until our second phase of bans comes through. A Zach coming through in the jungle looking for a bit of a meteor team.
I think that's actually Zach top maybe.
Really?
Yeah, Zach is quite strong right now, both in the top lane and in the jungle. He's just a very strong champion. But yeah, very high one-shot potential, even as a tank.
It's good to know. I'll keep that noted here. But yeah, okay, possibly Zach in the top lane. Again, the flex picks are always good in the draft mode because you can never know what the team's going to go for. It could be Hecarim top, could be Zach top, could be Sylas top for all we know. You know, there's so many flex picks on their team. A Vex going in the hands of Windsor Park, champion that I've actually kind of enjoyed playing quite a bit since she released, and just a pretty comfortable and steady spot. Lots of damage output, pretty safe as well.
For sure.
Here we are in the second round of bans. Ziggs being taken out for Windsor Park here. Again, that's one of those champions, like anything that has a very good range advantage on Vex in the mid lane can be very volatile for her, because even though it looks like she has a lot of range outside of her ultimate, it's a little tough sometimes. So yeah, Zig's definitely a good ban to take out there. Camille, not looking for 1,000 true damage in the late game on an ability.
Definitely a good plan, yeah.
Especially with when you have such a heavy tank like Zach, and also like Bruiser on Hecarim, depending on the build as well. Definitely a good call there. Oh, the last ban coming through is Morgana, and that, or sorry, the last man for Windsor Park is Morgana, and now we have Fort Richmond seeing what they're going to take out here as the final round of picks is about to go underway. And they opted to taking out the Leona. No support on the side of Fort Richmond just, or sorry, on the side of Windsor Park just yet. And yeah, I'd say that's a good call. Leona is one of those champions that just kind of doesn't die. Pretty notorious for that with the resistances with their W. So yeah, I think that's a pretty safe support to take out of the way.
For sure. Overall, very meta bans from both teams. Yeah, all of these champions are just insanely good right now, and it's definitely great to ban them out.
Yeah, a Nautilus going on the way of Fort Richmond, and very engage-heavy team. You know, with the Vex and the Nocturne, those two ultimates together can be so critical in a team fight, or even just catching someone off guard for a pick. Again, Zaya coming through, a new 80 carry coming onto the Rift for our day today. There we go. 8 seconds left. We are in the last round of picks here. We're going to go right into the first game of the series. You see in the chat, they banned Wukong, sad face. Somebody was planning to play it. That's so fun to see. And Lulu Zaya for the bot lane matchup here. Definitely going to be a good combo. Lulu's always Enchantress support is a very safe pick there, especially with the Zaya with the added peel for ultimate if she needs it too.
Definitely. Zaya is very strong right now with the lethality build. A very heavy poke champion can potentially just take out half your health with a Q and E.
For sure, yeah. You're totally right. The lethality build's been hovering for a while. Like, even after they hot fixed it, it's still very viable in the game. Always good to see different builds and stuff popping up and different ways that the meta can be changed. So we'll see if they can take it. It is a rather, like, not as tanky of a team as Fort Richmond is, for example. So Zaya, I think, would fit in pretty well against this team.
Definitely.
So yes, it is Zach top, as you originally predicted, which is cool to see. And on the side of Windsor Park, they actually had said that they like to flex a lot of their roles. Like, they can swap back and forth, which I think is really good, because then the champions that you can choose, the different compositions, is so vast for going into different games if they want to swap roles up.
Very true.
So we are on loading screen, just waiting for game one to go underway, and we'll be here as the start of the A-side championship is underway. We have Fort Richmond on the, Fort Richmond is on the blue side, to my knowledge, and Windsor Park is on the red side to start off the series. Just confirming there. You've seen both teams starting to head their way into the jungle here to get the early vision for the game. So you see here a little bit of an interesting play coming. So I've been informed that people are asking just a little bit about the basic rules about how League of Legends works, what kind of game it is. Essentially, is what you're seeing right now is sort of a bird's eye view of the characters that the champions is what they're called, of what each player chose. And essentially it's a 5 versus 5 where the objective of the game is to destroy the enemy's base. And that can be done in multiple different ways.
5 versus 5 game where a lot of fights happen, a lot of action happening, but most importantly, like management of your resources, management of time, management of a lot of things. And basically just overall game of thinking, strategy, and teamwork.
yeah, there's a lot of different ways over the course of the game to generate gold for your team, and gold buys items, and items is what makes you stronger.
Yep.
So over the course of the game, you know, getting kills, taking turrets down, it all sort of goes towards making your team stronger to try and destroy the enemy's base, which is the ultimate goal of the game. That's how you win.
Yep.
So yeah, that's a little bit of a quick little 30-second description about League of Legends. There's a whole lot more to the game than just that, but for people who are just tuning in, people who don't really know a lot about it, there you go. A little quick tutorial there. Yeah, early trades going as you would expect. Aatrox sort of taking over the wave control in the top lane, which again, you can see especially has the XP advantage now as well. But again, I think we'll see a lot more of a slower start to the game than we did in the previous series, possibly, unless we maybe see some solo kills going through, you never know. But especially in the A side, we'll know for sure how it's going to unroll.
Definitely. Zach is a little bit weaker of an early laner than Aatrox, of course, so definitely taking a more defensive approach.
And here we are. We look at the pretty typical jungle pathing for both sides as well, and we'll see like a lot of Nocturne players like to power farm until they hit level 6, because as soon as he gets that ultimate where he can essentially go on to anybody and get their fear from quite a distance, it's such a powerful ability to have. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's kind of the name of the game until the level 6 comes along.
Definitely, for sure. But of course, if he does see an opportunity to maybe dive, maybe get a gank if someone's overextended, he's for sure going to take it.
Yeah, of course, and we do see around the river here, prioritizing the top scuttle, another very important, or not as important anymore, but still important to grab the scuttle for the extra vision and XP as a jungler, and that's exactly how Nocturne does, like to full clear the, or sorry, almost full clear the jungle and then go towards that scuttle for the extra XP, and it's just a good advantage on a champion that has lots of clear with his AoE passive. And again, Lonely just kind of getting shoved into the top towers. Exactly what you expect. Aatrox is such a dominant laner, especially with his, if you hit the right parts of his Q abilities.
Definitely.
And yeah, bot lane again, just sort of farming it out. This is a lot more paced gameplay, I imagine, that they're going to look more sort of play around the Nautilus hooks, I imagine, and of course, with the side of Fort Richmond, sorry, just wait until level 6, I imagine, because they have a lot more stronger fight once they hit that.
Definitely. A lot less mistakes being made and more safe play.
Exactly. Yeah, Gordy, I'm interested to see. I don't think I've seen a Zach top in quite a while, so it'll be interesting to see how he plays it out. Maybe I'll learn, take a few tips and tricks for myself at home. We'll see how it goes. Right now, first blood does go in the favor of Nike as he takes down Xayah, and that is going to be the first kill of the game. Again, we didn't really get to see how it unrolled, I imagine, through a Nautilus hook as can be. But yeah, very good kill to put in the hands of Misfortune, especially for someone who can dominate lane with just a couple kills in her hand.
Definitely. Very hard to get away from Nautilus after he's hooked you. One Q and a root will probably end you.
Yeah, absolutely. And we see Bob's going to get caught here. It seems like it's so. Heckram did come in for the gank. Newbie is not able to pick anything up, and I don't know if any summoners were burned as well. But just at least to halt the backs, a bit more time for them to reset there. And the wave's in a pretty decent spot for Richmond bot lane here as Osun starts to push it out. And we see here the mid lane's been pretty quiet so far. Again, both champions are always just farming it out. And for a melee matchup in terms of Vex versus Sylas, Vex can get some poke off, but she doesn't want to use too many of her utility because Sylas can get on you pretty quick with his chains.
Definitely, but Vex does have that fear on her W, or when it's fully charged, to get Sylas away from you.
Yeah, absolutely. If the fear is up, that's a much safer position here. We see Newbie kind of hovering around the mid lane. It doesn't look like a gank's going to go through just yet, but we do have just the pressure there to add on. And yeah, as we can see, Nocturne now level 5, again, just sort of power farming as much as he can to get level 6 because it's such an easy way to gank for him. And yeah, a very large wave top lane for Min, but and I missed out on a solo kill in the mid lane. Vex was able to fall. It looks like, yeah, Apathy was taking down my Nachi there, and again, as I was saying, if the fear is down as it might have been, the change, there's just no way to get him off of you after he gets on, and the healing, even under tower can be very impactful.
Definitely. Managing your abilities as Vex in the mid lane is definitely a very hard thing to do against a Sylas at least.
Yep, and that brings it to 1-1 in the game so far. Again, both teams kind of taking it slow to start off and just taking their advantages as they come. I mean, expected that Nautilus in the bot lane can hopefully generate a couple kills so far, so there's nothing that they probably weren't seeing coming there. But yeah, the solo kill in the mid lane is, just as we were talking about, how it was a bit of a quiet start from them. So we'll see how Apathy responds on the Vex and if they can pull it together.
For sure.
There we go. You can see how aggressive Bobs is playing with the Nautilus, kind of playing a little ahead of the wave, just zoning them off on the farm, allowing them to get the free reset and essentially uncontested. Again, Bobs loves backing that middle bush there, which almost got him killed the first time. It's not stopping him the second time. But yeah, pretty good position in the bot lane for Windsor Park here. Or sorry, for Fort Richmond. No, it is Windsor Park. Still getting the teams all organized. Sorry, folks. Yeah, so as we see here again, Zach's just playing the top lane very safe, and nothing to be expected there. I don't imagine any kills will come through anytime soon. Please don't curse me casting curse, but as we see that, Aatrox is going for the trade. We're going to cut down to the Dragon, which is being taken by... The Dragon is being taken by Fort Richmond here. Free Ocean Dragon is, again, the trades are coming out in the top lane, and it looks like the Vex is sort of rotating towards top. They might be looking towards a dive here, but it is unclear at this moment. We don't see the fog of war on the map. But yeah, nobody in the mid lane currently. And yeah, again, almost as I was saying that, Zach was starting to fall as I said, oh, it's been a quiet lane so far.
Zach definitely does have his weaknesses as a laner, especially because he was meant to be a jungler. But after he gets his first item, maybe, he starts scaling really hard. He starts getting really tanky, and he also starts just one-shotting everyone.
Absolutely, yeah. And you can see, oh, the blob was forced out. It looks like they're going to use the dive to finish off the kill, but Aatrox falls as well because of the tower aggro. I noticed there. So it is a trade kill, and 1-for-1 for both teams there. Good to get the assist gold onto the other champions there, but just unfortunate that Min was dying there.
That was just a little bit of a misstep, a little bit of misplay. But they did kill him under tower, and he loses a whole wave for it.
And loses his passive as well, which can make killing him in the future a lot easier before he gets his mythic item for sure. Here we have Bullet Time coming out and picking up a kill in the bot lane, but it's not enough. Is Misfortune going to get the double? It looks like Nike is going to take it out, but is Ash able to outplay on the Lulu? He is! And Ash takes down. What an upset from Nike here. And that is a huge play to go in the way of Fort Richmond.
That was a huge use of vision there. Going to the bush, you can't get the Q off for Misfortune, and that's just unfortunate. Yeah,
very, very well played there from Ash Island, and now we see more trades coming in the top lane. Lonely is getting some good damage off, but WPC comes out with the ultimate. Is he able to get any of his Qs? It looks like the Zac top you were telling me about is coming into play.
That was a little bit of a misplay from Aatrox there. Didn't hit enough Qs to really do damage to the Zac.
Yeah, wow, that is not even an item in. You were talking about how the damage he gets really tanky. That is actually on display there. And of course, with the Bramble Vest picked up already and getting the Grievous Wounds for Aatrox is so critical. So yeah, very good play there from Gordy. We rotate back to the mid lane again. Sylas being poked out by Vex. It is under tower, so we can't go for the aggressive plays this time. But he's sitting at 3-0 right now. A very strong position for Fort Richmond to be in so far in game 1.
That's very true. And Fed Sylas is very hard to get rid of. He just takes your Rs, and then he does too much damage with his W.
Yeah, as you were saying, and the healing potential is so crazy too, but sometimes under tower is just not enough. We see, again, no objectives on the map right now, so the teams are just kind of taking it as they go. But yeah, very interesting top lane matchup as we saw started to go sort of in the favor of Min to start off. But yeah, I seriously have been underestimating the Zac top lane. I've never seen it before today. But yeah, it's certainly it's a threat, as you were talking about there.
Definitely.
Here we go, yeah. when we cut originally to when I saw Miss Fortune use the bullet time, I thought it was a fight going in the favor of Windsor Park, but yeah, as we saw, the incredible play on Lulu there, stepping into the bush to not only prevent the Q, but the auto attack itself. And yeah, very well played there by Ash Island. I'm excited to see just the matchups throughout this series and how every player adapts to what's going on.
For sure.
And we can see some danger pings going around to the bot lane here. Might be looking towards a potential dive, but not entirely sure. The vision is just not there on the side of Windsor Park. Min is still, again, shoving the lane into Lonely, just trying to make sure that he gets all the farm and make sure that Lonely can't really leave to go anywhere. But here we have Vex looking around here, is on a ward. They are going to look for a tower dive, but is Min going to take too much tower angle before they even get there? Lonely's taking out the Aatrox W, but now the Rift Herald is here. What is going on now? Silas is in the bot lane. Nike is falling, and both bot laners fall on the side of Windsor Park. I don't know what happened with the tower dive top lane.
It does look like Silas got Vex R, and that's really good for Silas. Resets, dashes, very long range, perfect for Silas.
Yeah, and another double kill falling into Fort Richmond's hands. And it's just making the bot lane fall farther and farther behind, especially with that dive there with both members dying. They lose so many minions, tower plating, you name it. I don't think anything came with the dive top lane as we're seeing it cut at the last second there, but it's crazy. Just so many times that there's two fights going at once. Here we have one going on in the mid lane. Hecarim coming through, the Nocturne all is coming. Is he going to be able to save it? No, and unfortunately Apathy falls with three members collapsing him in the mid lane, and Snowix was just not fast enough to come help. So again, we're going to see if Nike is able to pull himself back in the game, maybe be able to just free farm a little bit and get his gold up.
Definitely.
We do see, again, Fort Richmond taking the Mountain Dragon as they have the advantage, the clear advantage in this game. And we're going to see the soul decided here. It is going to be a Cloud Soul, the typical Game 1 soul, it seems, for today at least. And yeah, two dragons in the favor of Fort Richmond, as well as a 7-kill lead. They are handily in control of this game.
And also, this Zac is getting pretty big now, almost 2 levels ahead of this Aatrox, and getting really tanky.
Yeah, as you said, getting tanky and also still keeping the damage for whatever reason. Maybe needs a little bit of balancing there, but we don't need to talk about that right now. We're not the Riot balancing team. We'll look at the lead that he has, and of course objective bounties. I think for the first time today, of all 5 games, this is the first time we've seen objective bounties on the Rift, if I'm not mistaken.
Definitely, yep.
So yeah, objective bounties as an option, always a good comeback choice. Bob's a guy is trying to escape with his life, is able to flash out, and it looks like he's going to get out alive, but it's just showing how strong the Zai is so early into this game, and the lethality seems to be working out.
That does look like bot tower might fall, but a Nocturne gank coming to bot lane.
And the Lulu ult is not going to be enough to save. It's not going to be enough to save Osun, and it looks like they're going for the second. Are they going to go under tower? No, they're not. They're going to stick with the 1-for-0, and Snowix with a good ultimate coming in. As we see, Fort Richmond, as a response to the jungler being bot lane, is going for the Rift Herald. Again, taking that as an objective bounty off the map for them, pretty big to have in their hand, as well as with all the pressure they have already, but they don't have a lot of towers. This is going to help them push that lead even further with objectives.
Yeah, really, really good play coming out from this team. Very good objective control and map control in general.
Yeah, as you're saying, just so many members of Fort Richmond are so strong right now. We were talking about the Zac, how he hasn't even left lane yet. So as soon as we get into the fights, he's going to be nearly unkillable. But we see here, members of Windsor Park congregating around the top lane, looking to try and save the Aatrox for the members also coming. It's not going to be enough, but now they're looking, dropping the Rift Herald. Surely this tower is going to fall, but Nocturne is standing nearby. Are they going to look to pick him off as well, as this tower is going to fall soon enough? and they're already proxying the wave. Members of Windsor Park are able to shut down Silas, and the fight is breaking out here. The Vexalt comes through. Heckram's going to fall as well. Very good response here from Windsor Park, looking for the Vexalt reset. It does not land. They take the Rift Herald down, but the tower does fall as a result.
Very good pick coming for Windsor. That's exactly what they needed.
Yeah, I have all two. I'm recalling. Okay, I'm going.
Yeah, exactly what they need to get back in this game here. A little bit of damage mitigation there as what started off as a dive for Fort Richmond successfully, but they were able to follow up and get a couple kills as a result of it. So it was very well played by Windsor Park to really come back and respond.
Definitely.
Now as we're seeing the bot lane start to make their way into the mid lane for the more post lane phase part of the game, you see Nike just ready, especially with having Strut on Misfortune and the ability to rotate so quickly on top of the Cloud Soul rift changes. Works out very well to have their AD carry sort of in the mid lane there. Still able to free farm, but ready to respond to any fight if needed.
But of course, this Silas is still a huge problem. Having Nautilus R and Vex R available for him is very good, because both of these Rs are AP scaling, and he's going to do a lot of damage with them.
Yeah, absolutely, especially with how strong he is currently. He does have Nautilus ult in his back pocket. And yeah, especially with Vexalt, such a mobile ultimate and such a good way to get onto the team for a champion like Silas, who's just so good and in your face with everything, and he can engage from so far away. Especially with the Nautilus ult as well, the ability to knock up so many people and render a team, so much of their team, like useless for part of the fight. It gives your team an opportunity to clean up.
For sure.
Here we go. Fort Richmond is taking the tier 1 mid tower. Not a lot that Windsor Park can do about that one, and they are making their way down to the dragon, which would be their third dragon of the game, and put them on soul point. Again, a Cloud Soul that isn't too impactful, but you're looking at champions like Zach, like Lulu, Zaya, like all of them can certainly benefit from this soul a lot more than some other champions could.
Definitely. Fort Richmond is definitely not making as much mistakes, or trying not to lose this lead, and trying to snowball this game into a win.
Yeah, they're definitely playing very, very clean right now. And as you said, snowballing into the win is the perfect description of what's going on right now. Not going for too many risky plays. We saw the one play top lane. At least they were able to complete the dive. But even still, they're playing it very calm and collective and looking to pull towards the first win. See an objective bounty claimed in the top lane tower. Again, great way for teams to have a chance to come back at the game. And still towers available in the mid and the bot lane for objective bounties as well. We'll see if they are able to pick anything up on the side of Windsor Park. And it's tough to see from newbie so far this game with Heckram, like such a strong early game jungler. There was a couple times where they came to lane and whatnot, just not as much as I would have liked to see, especially with your counterpart Nocturne essentially power farming until level 6. You got to take advantage of trying to get those early ganks off, and it just needs to happen a little bit more, I think, in my opinion.
Definitely. Heckram is not as strong as most junglers currently, but played right, of course, he can still do a lot of damage and still be really tanky.
Yeah, exactly. It looks like if you're smart, you're playing in a competitive scene, I would say that Divine Sunder on Heckram, or just like the Bruiser build in general, is definitely the way to go. You see, I believe that's the way that he's going here. He always the Divine Sunder. It looks like he's building into a Death's Dance, I believe. Does that look right?
That does look right.
Yeah, and Death's Dance, an item that also just got buffed recently, a very strong item all around, being able to mitigate percentage damage and have it burn over time, just keeping you alive a bit extra in the fights that are required. We're seeing here, Fort Richmond again, looking towards a Baron play here that's already started, but again, not a lot of vision for Windsor Park here. As it's starting to melt down a little bit, the Nocturne all comes through. He is onto the fight. The spell shield goes through. He's going to fall down, though. It's not enough. Bullet time is absolutely melting Fort Richmond right now. But Silas stole the Nocturne ult, and he's cleaning up the team with a double kill now. Min on the Aatrox not going down, and Bombs dies as well. But he's being chased down by the remaining two members. It's a Silas quadra kill. Can he secure the Penta? He's looking for it. Nachi showing his way. It's falling down. Is it enough? The healing is so much, but he's dedicated to getting it. It's not going to be enough. Is it the pentakill? Nachi with an absolutely clutch heal at the end.
Nachi played perfectly there. Very good. It started to look really bad for Fort Richmond with that MF ult, but very good play for Nachi there.
That was absolutely incredible, putting the team on his back, which started off at such a good fight for Windsor Park with a perfectly placed bullet time from Nike there, but Silas just instantly got to the back line and obliterated everybody as soon as he stole the Nocturne ult from the Baron pit.
For sure.
And again, not enough team members alive after that fight to take any objective of it, but just having an entire team wiped out like that, and a champion as dangerous as Silas, you see here already Snokes right after spawn is getting picked off instantly. Their jungle is not safe right now.
Very good pick for Fort Richmond there. The jungler is definitely the best pick to get for objectives, but sadly Dragon isn't up and Baron's way too risky currently.
Yeah, right now all the cards are in favor of Fort Richmond. They can essentially reset for Baron at any point with the pressure they've generated here. Also with Dragon coming up, they are on soul point, so to be able to secure that Cloud Soul would be very, very good for them as well, and just an extra advantage on top of all the advantages they have in their fights currently. So yeah, we see pings. It's debatable. We don't know what objective the teams are going to go for here. It's always an option with something as Cloud Soul. As much as it is an impactful soul, an argument can be made to trade Baron for Cloud Soul if you can do it fast enough. But I don't know if Windsor Park has the damage to do so.
Definitely, definitely.
Here comes the Vex ult in. The Fear's coming through. So much damage going through onto Lulu there. Nocturne ult's coming through, but he's so squishy. Is Min getting so much heal off from the Gore Drinker and top of his ultimate, and he's going to get out as well. No members have fallen from either team yet. The bullet time has come out, and it looks like Zach, so tanky, is taking out the Vex first thing, and there's nothing Windsor Park can do right now. And there we go, Nachi again, showing that he is godlike, taking down Misfortune in the mid lane, and they are pushing towards the inhibitor turret. They don't even need the Dragon right now because of 4 members of Windsor Park down. They're going to take the free inhibitor as well as the remaining members of their team taking the Dragon at this time.
Definitely. Very good engage from Windsor there. The unfortunate thing is Fort Richmond is just way too ahead right now. Too much items, too much gold ahead, and experience. And there's not much Windsor can do about it.
Yeah, and we see the Cloud Soul now going in the favor of Fort Richmond. A 4-Dragon sweep, and now we're waiting 6 minutes for Elder Dragon, but Baron is still up, and with the mid inhibitor down for Windsor Park, it's going to be very hard to contest that objective. And Nachi standing at 13-1 right now. Just want to point that out. Very, very solid game so far from them. And it's going to be very hard to take them down with so many ults that we've been seeing them take and utilizing so well.
Of course, and on a champion like Silas with very high 1v5 potential.
As we saw.
Yeah. It's very hard to kill a Silas when he's very fed and you're very behind.
And now we see the Baron has been started by Fort Richmond. But it looks like Snowix and the team of Windsor Park are there to contest. The minions haven't quite pushed into base yet. Here comes Lonely Gordy on the Zac, trying to get the ultimate off. Ultimate Nocturne comes through. There's just not enough damage. Look, he's staying alive for so long. Hackerman is on the backline, but not enough damage there. MF takes him down. The bullet time is not there to go off, and the team is being wiped out. Lonely is still alive. Silas with the double kill, getting the reset. A triple kill for Nachi. A quadra kill. Not quite. The ace goes in the hands of Zaya. It's an ace, and that will seal the deal for game number 1.
Very good play from Gordy there. Insane engage. Triple knockups. Knockups everywhere, right? And that's the power of Zach Top. He can pretty much do everything.
He is way too tanky right now. There is nothing they can do there. 5 members of the team on them. He still wasn't falling. Look at him now. They're taking the Nexus down, and Fort Richmond will go up 1-0 in the A-side championship, provincial championship. Very good game all around, and I'm excited for the rest of this series.
Okay, guys, we're going to try to keep this rolling, so we're just going to say a 5-minute break. For the second game, Windsor Park can get side choice, so just keep that in mind. Oh, and guys, sorry, if you're swapping players on your rosters, you need to come and let me know immediately. So if there's somebody swapping, let me know immediately.
Go switch with them.
Yeah.
All right, so if I heard correctly, we are going to a quick 5-minute break, and we'll get right back into the next game. So stick around, folks, and we'll get right back for you. strong performance from Fort Richmond Black in game number 1 of the A-side grand final, or A-side championship, same thing, grand finals. We're getting ready to go into game number 2 here. Tell me, like, what's Park really need to focus on to sort of pull themselves together? It was a little bit of a rougher game to start off.
I feel like they should put more focus on Nachi. Very good performance, impressive performance. First pentakill of the day. A very impressive performance. Also, the top lane should probably keep a track on that. Maybe ban out the Zach. Zach is very annoying to deal with. Yeah.
Yeah, do you think there's going to be a lot of target bans in this game too, or is it also sort of revolving around what's still meta?
Definitely, possibly, but banning out the meta is probably still safer. Even if Zach is really strong in the top lane, there's ways to deal with him, but meta picks are way stronger. So.
Yeah, that's very true. I imagine that they might look at taking out the Zach, but yeah, at the end of the day, there's a lot of strong top lane picks out there. As we were noting earlier, Lilia, Darius in general is just always a solid pick. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. We're about to get ready to go right back into Champ Select, and like I said, Game 2 is always the best because it really shows how each team adapts, even the winning team, how they adapt to the play style, and see if they change anything up going into game number 2.
Definitely.
Yeah, so we're just getting ready to go into game number 2 here. Again, Windsor Park have noted that they like to flex a lot of their players. They can play in a lot of different roles, so it's also possible that we can see the roles being swapped up here. Maybe they're taking up different champions that are in their champion pool for a different role, but maybe some of their other players aren't.
It will be very interesting to see that. I think maybe if a champion gets picked by Fort Richmond, Windsor can counter it and flex pick with one of their champion pools.
Exactly, yeah. It just makes it so much bigger, like so many opportunities to switch up their team composition and go from there.
Very true.
Here we are, we've made our way into Champion Select now. Windsor Park taking blue side for this game as we see Fort Richmond opting to red side, or I believe it was Windsor Park's pick. Again, taking out the Wukong first ban, nothing new to last game, and another call being taken out. So no target bans based on game 1 just yet, but we'll see. There's always 5 bans to go in the game. Diana, again, it seems that Fort Richmond is pretty comfortable with how they played last game, that they're just looking to, again, take out what's meta and take out what's strong, or maybe what they are uncomfortable playing against.
Yep.
And again, another VA goes so far a mirror of game 1 for what we've had for bans so far. See how it goes as the last round of bans for until first pick comes out. Again, a LeBlanc. Still going for the bad stuff, and we'll see Snowix is making the final decision here for Windsor Park. And we might be looking at a similar game, for all we know.
Yep. And Silas banned.
Yeah, Silas taken out, so yeah, probably a good idea with Nachi on the other team, and obviously picking up the pentakill last game, which is so hype, and yeah, it's definitely a good call to take that out of the way. As you were saying, they need to look after Nachi a bit more because he went way too out of control last game.
Very true. I'm a big fan of that Kazakhs pick. As a Kazakhs connoisseur myself.
You'll be critiquing all the gameplay of this game, eh?
Possibly.
Okay, that's awesome. Good to know. Yeah, Kazakhs also very strong right now, I believe, as well.
Indeed, very strong. Always a solid pick. One-shotting most squishies and still being pretty tanky with a bruiser build.
Yeah, another misfortune coming out on the side of Windsor Park. Possibly going in the hands of Nike, but as we said, it could go anywhere for all we know. Here comes Nachi. Is he going to take a pick at what he wants? Kind of inching towards Katarina, possibly. We never know. You can see hovering over the Vex, maybe he giving a little tutor lesson. We'll see. A few tips and tricks. Ends up opting in for the Zed. Another champion can have a lot of potential there, and it looks like he might want to show off some more of his skill.
2 assassins coming for Fort Richmond. Windsor's ADC might not be safe this game.
Yeah, you got to be very safe with that, especially with Misfortune. It can be safe, but no dashes or blinks at all, like for example Ezreal or Lucian. So you got to be scared. Again, we got Gordy that's locking in the Zac. We know where that's going again. We'll see if Windsor Park can deal with it at all.
Zac probably can be countered by a true damage champion, something like Camille, Fiora, Irelia, something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely the way to go, especially when he can build so many resistances and keep healing from his passive with the blobs as well. So yeah, important to pick up the grievous wounds, but also true damage is definitely a way to go for that too.
Definitely.
And a Leona being picked up on the side of Windsor Park, something that was banned out last game. But honestly, I think it's a good call. Leona Misfortune is such a strong lane if they can get the CC chain off post level 6.
And also a lot of lockdown on these assassins.
Yeah.
If these assassins walk into Misfortune and walk into Leona instead, they might just be stunned for an eternity.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. I definitely think they're going to sort of, they might revolve around Nike on Misfortune a bit more this game, especially knowing that a big part of the win condition in fights for Fort Richmond is assassins on their squishies. That's going to keep a close eye on them.
Definitely.
Here you go, the second round of bans coming through. A Camille being taken out as we were mentioning it, the true damage champions. Not something you want against the Zac. And Ziggs and Lulu again. Ziggs just a great champion to take out the equation. Interesting on the Ziggs ban actually, because Zed was already picked. I just saw the sides flip at the same time.
Ziggs definitely could be flexed into a ADC role.
Oh,
since
absolutely.
they are double AD right now, a mage ADC or APC could definitely work.
Yeah, for sure. We see the Malphite pick coming out. Unsure if that's going to be top lane or again, we might see it support like we did in Game 5 last game. And
I would say
again, a
top
source
lane.
of magic damage too.
I would say top lane because Leona's already picked for support. So, yeah, kind of a good pick here, just ignoring the Zac. It's like, I'll get tanky too.
Yeah, for sure, yeah. It's going to be a lot harder to take out the... like a champion like Aatrox can struggle into that, but Malphite, as you said, if they both build tank, it's going to be hard for either one to kill each other. So at the end of the day, they're both going to have the same purpose in fights, CC and stay alive and just absorb that damage. So I think that's an all-right call. You see Kaisa going on the side of Fort Richmond. That'll fall into Osun's hands, and Ash Island with the last pick here, picking up the Nautilus to secure their team composition.
Kaisa here is actually a fantastic pick for Fort Richmond here. Since they are double AD assassins, Kaisa can just go AP and do a lot of damage. And Kaisa's best build right now is actually currently AP.
Is it after they just tweaked her W? Is it still?
I think it still is very
Or like
good.
sort of a hybrid of sorts even.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's still good because she has that magic damage built into her kit. Yeah, it definitely probably the best case scenario for an AD carry here with, like you said, the double assassin lined up for mid and jungle. And a Nautilus to keep it safe as well. So yeah, very good composition coming here from Fort Richmond. I think both teams in general, we see the, as we mentioned, as I mentioned, Gwen coming through, which means that it's Malphite mid lane, or do you think Gwen's going to be mid lane?
It could be a 50-50. I think Malphite would do a little bit better in the mid lane. Gwen is more of a top laner.
Yeah, for sure.
Rather than a mid laner.
Yeah, very interesting to see here. We are already, loadouts are being chosen, runes are being locked in. We're going into game number 2 here. All eyes are on Windsor Park to see if they can pull together a bit of a better game than we had in game 1. But again, we saw it last series. I hope we see it this series. As we're just looking for the close games for everybody.
Definitely, for sure.
All right, we are back, and we are into game number 2. It is underway. Teams are getting ready to leave their respective bases. Again, we have Windsor Park on the blue side this time, and Fort I'm wrong. Nope. Windsor Park is still on the top side, and Fort Richmond is on the bottom side of the map here, as it was mixed up. And yeah, we'll see. We have, by the looks of things, yeah, as you're saying, Malphite going in the mid lane, pretty strong, I guess, into a Zed as well, with a passive that triples your armor. Very good to sort of block that initial burst from Zed's combo.
Definitely. And Gwen is very good into Zac for her AP true damage, and just overall really good laning.
And we see the same bot lane is coming out on the side of Windsor Park with Misfortune and Nautilus. Or sorry, no, it's Misfortune and Leona, and Nautilus is on the other team.
Right, basically the same concept still though.
Yeah.
Leona, Nautilus, they are both lockdown champions for Misfortune's bullet time.
Yeah, absolutely. Very, very good champions, both for Misfortune, and they're both equally, like, nearly the same support. Tanky, you know, very good engage for the team. But now we have one on both teams, so it'll be interested to see in the lane who comes out on top. As we see here, yeah, Gwen into Zac in the top lane, again, a very good call, because having that true damage, especially with her Q in the center, is going to be absolutely critical, and combined with the true damage in her ult, there's going to be a lot of potential to kind of shut Zac down and prevent him from getting as tanky as he usually does.
Definitely.
And here we are. We'll see how the start of this game gets off. It might be a bit of a slower start as we saw last game, but again, it wasn't as slow as we saw in Game 5, as both teams were being very patient and not wanting to make any mistakes in the B-side finals. But yeah, these teams are very experienced, obviously been playing with each other for a long time, so they know how to communicate. We can see the level 2 advantage of just being Nautilus and hitting level 2 first. There's not a chance that they're going to walk up and risk that hook. There you go again, Kha'Zix. Well, you're the Kha'Zix connoisseur, as you like to say. What do you like to usually go about in terms, not only like pathing early game, but you want to try and get those early ganks off, or try and wait for like a serrated Dirk, for example?
Usually I would look at the team composition first to decide whether I go Bruiser or not. But this game he did go for a first strike rune, so he's probably going to look for a lot of fights, get a lot more gold, and start snowballing.
Absolutely, yeah. And of course with the added damage bonus on top of it. But having first strike, if you can get those initiate combat, as we've just seen, picking up first blood, the extra damage bonus on top of all the gold that you'll get from bursting your abilities on a champion as good as Kha'Zix does, can certainly make him, like a champion like that, snowball into carrying the team as well. We see him looking towards the top lane now, but he's not going to commit to that, being pinged off by his fellow top laner Gordy. But yeah, very good kill to pick up for first blood in the jungle there, because it's really, to have a strong jungler and be able to have that extra advantage to possibly invade is huge. Here we go, the Nautilus hook coming through Ash Island, but it's being countered. Bobs is going in on Leona. Cleanse comes through for Osun, and now Nike is trying to get a kill here, but Bobs is going to fall first. Osun is taking the kill, and it's coming down to a redemption point. Is Ash going to do it again? He gets the hook off. Nike is trying to fall back, and he doesn't want to make the same mistake twice, and he's going to take the 1-for-1 trade.
Overall, not so bad for both of the teams, but the ADC did die for Fort Richmond.
Yeah, giving Nike a little bit of extra time to soak the XP in and get a few extra minions in the bot lane. Honestly, it does look like a little bit of a more worth trade for Windsor Park here. But we do see, we'll definitely see in terms of 1-to-1, it will still come down to about an even lane so far, and we'll see how it plays out.
For sure.
And no action going on in the mid lane right now, especially with Zed. It is important that he gets a very big power spike when he hits level 6, but just the burst that I feel like he was, that Nachi was probably assuming that he was going to have, the extra burst in lane, is just not coming out the way he thought because of the extra armor passive on Apathy. But how about 2 assassins? Will it be enough? Absolutely. Newbie taking down for his second kill of the game and an assist going to Nachi, and that is a big kill to put in the hands of your mid, or just to take and give the assist to the mid laner to give him that extra lane pressure.
Definitely underestimating Kha'Zix's damage there. With the serrated Dirk, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Half HP from 1Q, that's to be expected.
Yeah, on top of the ZQ as well to get the extra isolated damage for the first enemy hit.
Yeah.
There was no surviving there for Apathy. Like you said, it's just on him. I don't know if he's going to try building AP at all or just build into tank. We'll see as the game goes on how that goes. I'd say right now I'd probably be leaning a bit more towards the tank, or at least to start, just because you don't want to snowball that lane too hard if you can't come back from it.
Very true.
So it'll be top lane. I'll only say it once because I don't want it to be cursed. Top lane is the only lane that hasn't had any action yet. We'll see what happens here. Again, Gwen, who really likes to play it safe so far in the lane because it takes her a couple items to really start doing damage, but especially also letting the Zac scale up like that and just get tanky can also be a bit of a problem too.
And of course, Gordy is also playing very safe. They're both pretty scaling champions, so they don't really want to engage that much. One death could be pretty detrimental.
Yep, and now we see the Fort Richmond taking down the Mountain Dragon here for the first dragon of the game. Just under 7 minutes into the game, and a Hextech Dragon, meaning that there will not be a Hextech Soul yet in this series. Coming up is the second, which we'll see in 5 minutes. Newbie looking very strong right now, as you said. Serrated Dirk in the pocket, and then probably after this clear, we'll be able to back and get a Caulfield's Warhammer if they're going for, if they're going for possibly Dustblade, or even a Yomu's Rush, even though it's not as common anymore.
Definitely also a Umbral Glaive first item. Could be very good because of extra vision or vision control is very good, and extra burst. It's just a very cheap item, very solid item to get first item.
Yeah, for the cost, it's very cost efficient just to get that first item, and then when you get the mythic, you already get an added 1 item mythic bonus on top of it, which is always good to see. But yeah, Umbral Glaive can be very important, especially if they're going to prioritize jungle objectives just to clear that vision. It's such a strong item, especially on top. Like when the passive is down, as long as you have the Oracle Lens as well, it can really be useful.
Definitely.
Here we go, the wave pushing in towards top lane, but it looks like Min's going to go for a reset. The ultimate from Zed does come out, but again, Malphite using Unstoppable Force just to get out of there, and no solo kills being coming through yet. You can see that Fort Richmond kind of freezing the lane, a little bit of a slow push starting in the bot lane. They're just looking to farm up the gold that they have and sort of turn that into a bit of advantage. I think they believe their team is in a good position right now. I would say so as well. We do see the Rift Herald being taken by Windsor Park, however, so they'll definitely be able to get some plates from that as it is very early in the game.
They definitely did make a right call there for going to the Rift Herald. They spotted Kha'Zix's bot lane, so they went straight for it.
Yeah, as we've seen, all 4 teams today have done a very good job of responding to seeing junglers on one or the other side of the map by taking the objective. So yeah, a good play to get the Rift Herald, and yeah, as I said, using the Rift Herald to get the 2 free plates is very good to get some extra gold in the pocket of your team. We see an ultimate from Ash Island coming out here. It looks like Leona, again, she doesn't die. The Eclipse gives her so many resistances, there's no way that you're going to take her down that easily, even with the true damage for Ignite. And that's a lot burned, the ultimate, and a lot of sums for to not have any result.
Of course, trading flashes is still beneficial for Richmond, so not bad.
Especially with 2 assassins to trade flash.
Especially.
Here, yeah, we do have Newbie kind of hovering around here. Going with the Kha'Zix ultimate is Nike expecting this. Has the exhaust, a good play with 2 assassins on the team, but it doesn't look like it's going to be enough. Is Newbie going to isolate and get the kill? He is! Nike takes down, but here's the response from Windsor Park as they're coming, and now Nautilus is going to fall too. It's a 2-for-1. Is it worth it? Newbie is going to be able to get away, but that's a very good response from Windsor Park in the bot lane.
A little bit of an overextend there, but they did get the ADC, and 1 for 2 trade, not too bad, and a kill for Kha'Zix is still very good.
Yeah, kill for a 3rd kill for Kha'Zix there, probably securing definitely an item when he backs, whenever he gets back to base there. And yeah, even though it was 2-for-1, having Nike off the map again and losing out on the golden XP can be very impactful later on in the game.
overall, still, Windsor does come on top of that. 1 for 2, always good.
Yeah, and a lot of opportunities there. I'm surprised that there wasn't a Rift Herald dropped as a result from Windsor Park, who have it in their pocket, but we'll see when they get the chance to use it there, as again, they definitely have enough time to get 2 free plates for their team, get that extra gold, and maybe start to even out the playing fields in the game.
Definitely. A dust blade being picked up by a Kazakhs there.
So it is a dust blade, awesome.
Extra stealth and probably more CDR.
Yeah, we'll see when every item that comes also comes with added CDR bonus here. Gordy going in because he knows Newbie is there on the side. Min in a 1v3 situation here, but Snowix is there to respond, but I think he might have gone a little bit too late, and he might be caught out as a result. He's retreating back to his tower. They're not going to pursue the tower dive on that, which is good. Smart decision there, but unfortunate, because again, we have the Rift Herald 3/4 done the cooldown there on his inventory, and he needs to use it before it's too late. The bullet time coming on the Bob lane. Bob's just going to fall again. Ash is picking up the kill this time, immediately follows up with the kill. Is Knight going to fall as well? A double kill for Ash. Who is this guy? He does fall to the tower, but a double kill in the hands of a Nautilus. 2 for 1. That's 2 assists for the 80 carry, and they stay in lane.
A little unfortunate for Fort Richmond there. He got hit by the Misfortune E, I think clipped by it, and since he was like 10 HP, got killed by it.
Yeah, I don't know if Misfortune is running Dark Harvest or not. Did you see?
I don't believe so, no.
No. Yeah, just unfortunate there. It does mean that Osun falls to 0-3, which again, like it's tough to have an AE carry that's falling behind like that. They do secure the double kill at least, but it's a 2 for 2 both ways again with Nike picking up these kills. I'd say that he's definitely the ADC that's more favorable right now if it came down to his solo carry situation. But then you also have to think about the 2 assassins that are going to be on him in every opportunity in this game. Unstoppable Force coming through, and the shutdown going into the hands of Apathy. He did hit the Unstoppable Force, but it was invisible, so you didn't see. Is he going to fall to the Zed ultimate? No, Death's Mark is not enough. And there is Kaisa's first kill of the game. Osun picking it up on Leona there, and Zed is able to pick up a kill. And Snowix there is falling as well. Lots of kills going back and forth between both teams in the bottom river, and now Dragon is up and available for taking from either side. But there's 2 junglers down. Here we go, another dive in the mid lane. Which team is going to come out on top? It looks like Fort Richmond is going for the dive. The Zac Blobs come out, but I don't think there's anything they can do to save him. And surely that is going to be the end of Gordy. How is he not gone? He's out of there.
Perfectly played with the turret aggro there.
Very well done with the turret aggro. I'm so surprised that he didn't take out the rest of his blobs before he was out. And just too much healing, shielding. There's the Zac top that we're talking about. It's already getting a little bit out of control with not dying in that situation. And now Fort Richmond is looking to take the Dragon and give themselves a very good stance in this game. Fort Richmond taking the Hexer Dragon, which means our first Inferno soul of the day is going to come out. And that is the last soul that you want if on a team with a Kha'Zix and Zed looking at all of your squishy champions.
Definitely. One Kha'Zix Q could potentially end an ADC, and there's an assassin right now.
There we go, Nachi on a rampage. Again, taking out Nike. As we were saying, he might be the more well-off ADC currently if it was a solo matchup, but we've mentioned it before, it's a team game, and just because he's doing better than the other ADC doesn't mean he's going to be doing well against 2 assassins. Now you see here Min, again, hasn't been too impactful in the game, just 0-1 right now, and they're working on scaling up because Gwen's one of those champions where after a few items can be doing a lot of damage. But yeah, as we said, not a whole lot going on in the top lane. There was that one fight there where they both fell. But I think honestly that's a very decent position for Gwen if you're looking at your own performance there, all things considered.
Definitely, Gwen can scale up and start like 1v3 most champions, including a Zac, including these 2 assassins. They can't really do much damage to the Gwen, and the Gwen can potentially just heal it all back.
Yeah, and we see Swinix forced to flash there, just caught out in a very rough position, and they knew that Nachi was down below. But now Apathy might be falling down here. Nachi comes out, not enough damage to finish it off, but there's the Kazakhs again picking up another kill. Nachi using his ultimate. Deathmark is coming through. We don't know if he's doing enough damage to kill, and it looks like Gordy's picking up the kill, but falls unfortunately to Min right away, and the fight's still going on, and Min gets a double kill. What a good fight from Min, and to bring Windsor Park into a good stance for a 2-for-2 trade.
Yeah, Min's Gwen there definitely came in clutch. Yeah, all the farm is coming in handy now. Scaling up, level 11, very high level. And yeah, Gwen's going to definitely be a problem for late game.
Yeah, with 2 kills in her pocket now, we were just talking about how it's really good once she gets a couple items about how much damage she was doing. You mentioned 1v3 potential. I'd say we can easily see that if it keeps going at this pace. Nachi getting free hits on the top tower. Looks like it's probably going to fall here for the second tower of the game, actually, and both towers in favor of Fort Richmond. But yes, we see Gwen coming back to lane. I can't wait to see what kind of items she has in her entourage now. And again, Nike sitting at 3-3 right now, which is, again, definitely doing better than Osun is doing on the Kaisa, but it's just so hard to play when you have so many things to worry about. And again, opting the lethality, she does have Eclipse and going for the Manamune there. Apathy just kind of on his own in the mid lane currently, but does have a couple tank items to go along with it. And we do see that Kaisa has evolved her W, so yeah, is going the AP build that you assume that she would, which is a good. Rift Herald being taken down by Fort Richmond, which I don't know, did we see the Rift Herald come out for Windsor Park or not?
Don't believe so.
So the Rift Herald must have expired, because yeah, I don't remember seeing it placed on the map at all. A fight is breaking out, however, right outside the Baron pit. Min is looking for one of these 1v3 opportunities, but he's CC'd too much. The bullet time comes out and takes both of them down too, but this fight's going in favor of Windsor Park. Osun is falling as well. Double kill for Nike, and to seal the deal with Bob's on the Leona there.
Very good from Min's Gwen there again. Tanked all of the damage just for Nike to get that bullet time off on 3 people to shred all of them.
Yeah, very good bullet time there, like you're saying. Not quite at the point where she can 1v3, but it's really good to look at how long she stalled the team to get that damage off. And then yeah, the bullet time just perfectly placed, and with Nike picking up those kills, that puts them very strong.
And of course, and they're still actually behind in gold, getting the objective bounty from that tower they just got.
Yeah, objective bounties on the board again, as we were seeing here. But with the fights, this is another fight that really has gone in Windsor Park's way, and it's all credit due to Min on the Gwen. Here we go, the Rift Herald is being summoned here by Newbie. Our first Rift Herald summon of the game, but our second one that has been taken. It looks like it's going to get some real good damage off on the mid tower. Is it going to be enough to take? We don't know, because Apathy on the Malphite is really tanky. And we have 3 members of Windsor Park there to defend it from falling. They do not want to lose that jungle. A little bit of a safety net that they have there with their towers up. And now another tough situation here. The jungle control from Newbie has been unmatched this series so far. It's just not able to be matched by Snowix at all, and that is the 3rd dragon of the game they're picking up. It puts them on soul point for Infernal Soul, which we mentioned in the hands of a Kazakh Zed is going to be very dangerous.
And it's very hard to contest a dragon with a Kazakhs. From experience, Kazakhs' Q actually does a lot of damage, similar to maybe a Nunu Q, honestly. So maybe a little bit less, but 1,000, maybe 1,500 damage smite, or Q and smite, can probably get you a dragon anytime.
Yeah, especially with how fed that he is on Kazakhs as well, with the lethality, and on top of the fact if the target's isolated, of course, that would really help. But yeah, as you're saying, very good smite potential, and also in situations steal potential. But in this case, you don't need to worry about steal potential, because you're on soul point and looking towards pressure. They have the scuttle, and they're probably looking to get more vision around the Baron pit, I'd say, right after they reset here, because that is a big objective for them to take.
A collector coming out for Kazakhs. Not an item I'd usually build, but an extra gold, always helpful.
Absolutely. And again, it's not the. I guess having the extra execute would be nice. He's probably, by the looks of this build, it's going for more of like a literal one-shot build with the execute on Collector. So we'll see what kind of game Nike has on Misfortune. He did take exhaust this game, to credit him. That is a very smart move to get that 40% damage reduction when you exhaust whoever's going in on you. But then there's a second assassin you have to deal with as well. So
yeah, hopefully the Leona can get the second assassin off. This team has a lot of lockdown with a Malphite, Leona, and Zinzao. So potentially they can engage, but they can also lock any assassin down that gets into your Nike.
Yeah, and you can see Osan just peppering Windsor Park with Kaisa W's. Again, going the AP build, so it's evolved. But a fight breaking out here. Unstoppable Force is brought out defensively, and then again, the bullet time not getting as many members as they would have liked to see, and now this might be in a difficult position, but Min is just going off on Gwen, taking down 1 kill. It looks like they're going to retreat for now, but Min's damage potential, but in comes Kha'Zix, and the Kaisa picks up the kill, and now that's a 1-for-1 right now. Apathy's going to fall in the Malphite, a double kill for Kaisa. Members of Windsor Park are falling, and the Zed damage is coming through as well. Min is falling down, and now is 3 members down for Windsor Park, a top of 3 members for Fort Richmond. A very chaotic fight there from both sides.
Incredible team fight, incredible spacing from both teams. Bullet time not doing as much damage as I would have thought. But yeah, a little bit overextended for Windsor. If they just took the 2 kills and left, that probably would have been a net positive.
Yeah, and as I was mentioning at the start of that fight, the Unstoppable Force from Apathy there was used defensively to get retreat back to the team. That's a very key ultimate to not have to knock out the enemy team in a fight, and it's still really starting to turn out in their favor there, which shows that their team fight potential is there. It's just, like, even though they don't have those key abilities in the bullet time you were saying, they were still able to come out with an even trade, a 3-for-3 fight.
Of course, again, this Gwen is really hard to deal with. Both assassins don't do enough damage to kill the Gwen, and even if they did, they probably wouldn't want to use their damage on the Gwen anyways.
Yeah, absolutely. You see the team looking to get some very early vision around the Dragon Pit. They don't want the soul to go that easily. It's a very good idea to get that vision early, a bit deeper in the jungle as well. It is coming up in about 60 seconds now, so we'll see. I think they know if they play around Min a bit more that their teamfight potential is definitely there. But it looks like they're getting a pick already. Osun is taken down by Min there, and Ash Island is now, look at the damage, the true damage coming out from Gwen's ultimate. The needles are just a bit too much, but that's a big ultimate to have go cooldown for the upcoming Dragon, but as well as you have your AD carry missing on the side of Fort Richmond.
Yep, very good pick there by Windsor. Yeah, not wasting anything, just Malphite R'ing for a secured kill.
Yeah, definitely a very good pick to have there, and it really kind of halts what probably was a plan for Fort Richmond to go for the Dragon Soul. Whereas now without their AD carry and a very good poke champion for them, it's going to be tough for them to sort of contest. Here we go. The Baron has been started by Fort Richmond here. It looks like they're going to try and burst it down before anything can happen, willing to give up one of the Infernal Dragons in order to trade for objectives that they're hoping to end the game with. We do see Min there. Is he going to look for any sort of steal? The Baron is already gone. So it's a clean trade, Dragon for Infernal Dragon for Baron. I would say that Fort Richmond probably comes out on top there with them already having 3 dragons in their pocket.
Definitely. Not only do they get the Baron, of course, but they negate Windsor from going over and getting the Baron themselves. Very good trade because they're at soul point anyways. They can always get the next dragon.
Yeah. In regards to Windsor Park, it is, again, delaying that soul by another 5 minutes, but at the expense of having to deal with a Baron buff for 3 of those, for 3 of those 6 minutes. And it can pay off, but essentially half the time that you're waiting for that next dragon to come up, you're going to be kind of on your back, sort of turtling and preventing any sort of like damage mitigation for your objectives.
Of course, Windsor still can win a lot of team fights just with their Malphite R and Misfortune R. a lot of lockdown, maybe stunned for at least 6 seconds with a Malphite R and Leona R.
Yeah, and Leona's CC in general as well, yeah.
Definitely.
Lots of time for Misfortune to absolutely melt the team down there. That's what they're looking for to win these fights. As we see, we see the tier 2 tower in the mid lane starting to fall, just the Baron minion slowly chipping away. Exactly what we were talking about with trading the Dragon for Baron in terms of damage mitigation. The Baron cannon minion, once it gets that buff, the extra range and damage advantage just chips away at that turret. And it's on Windsor Park, so they're finally getting it down, but it's going to be a struggle for them to keep this turret alive before the end of this Baron buff.
Kaisa is actually starting finally to scale. Each W is doing like a quarter of Misfortune's health. And getting hit by a fully stacked W with her passive can very well just kill you.
Yeah, absolutely, especially with the new passive changes. They did give it a bit more of a damage amp, and they wanted to focus on getting her passive off more than just spamming Ws. But even still, it's possible to get the passive off just by spamming Ws. So we'll see there. We did see the tier 2 tower fall, and yeah, look at that damage onto Nike there, coming from all directions. They don't know where Ozoan is coming from. He's just all over this map hitting, and every time that the Kaisa W hits, the cooldown gets reduced. Just stacking the damage charts right now, and also making it a very tough situation for Nike on the Misfortune to play safe. So go now, Fort Richmond looking towards an inhibitor turret here. The Baron power play that they're working on coming into factor very well for them, as it looks like they kind of have the pressure to take an inhibitor here as well. We'll see if there's any response coming from Windsor Park, but they're also going to lose a second inhibitor turret in the mid lane. Are they going to capitalize on the split team? We'll see what happens here. Make It Rain comes out, but not enough slow to have any sort of engage. We're looking at Min here, again, a very key factor in these fights who's been doing a lot of damage. The team's not grouped up enough, and Nike is being pulled in by the front line. Here comes the assassin. The bolt time isn't going to work, and Nike falls there. That is critical for Windsor Park. Is Min doing enough in the other side of the fight to warrant it? It looks like she's going to take down one, but the rest of the team is now coming to take him down, and Windsor Park is going to get aced, which might seal the deal for game number 2.
A very good engage there, actually, by Windsor, seeing that Fort Richmond was split up and trying to go for it. But in the end, Windsor, Misfortune, Nike got caught out, didn't go with the team too fast, and got assassinated.
I can't see her. I don't know if the game actually ended or not. I'm imagining, yeah, they're working their way on the Nexus now. Is Bob's a guy going to be able to do enough to stop the Nexus? It doesn't look like it, and it looks like game number 2. Am I speaking too soon? Here comes Nike. The Blobs are out. I definitely spoke too soon. They're going to save the Nexus on death's door. They're going to push the game on a little bit longer. They said, we're not done yet. And what a save there from Bob's a guy and Nike to be able to save the game for a little bit longer.
Definitely the exhaust coming in clutch, getting the Zed's damage a little lower. Nexus will stay standing.
Standing for now, that is 2 inhibitors down, however, and again, soul point for Fort Richmond with Dragon coming up in under a minute. They're instantly, Windsor Park is instantly making their way over there because they know if they lose this Dragon, there's no way that they're going to be able to survive with an open Nexus or even in the next team fight, regardless of where it is. We do know that Baron will be coming up around the same time, I believe. But right now, all the focus is on the Dragon. It's already been started by Windsor Park, but there's no vision for Fort Richmond. Is Kozak's going to jump in for the steal? He gets the steal! That is critical!
Very good steal coming from the Kazakhs. Not even a Q, just a smite. And yeah, that's Dragon Soul for a Kaisa, a Zed, and a Kazakhs. Very bad.
Yes, very, very dangerous, and the super minions are pushing into the base. They needed that Dragon to prolong the soul for 5 more minutes. It's not enough. And there's the Kaisa W coming through. The damage is unmatched as the firing squad is going to be opening here as Fort Richmond is going to make their way into the base looking to secure the game and put it to championship point at 2-0 in the series.
Yeah, at this point, all Fort Richmond really needs to do, group up, get healthy, and just rush the base.
Absolutely. Now we see looking towards the Baron. This surely has to be a do-or-die play for Windsor Park if they are able to pull this off. But it looks like Newbie and Fort Richmond are there first, so it's going to be up to the steal potential of Nike on the bullet time and possibly Snowick's on the Zinzao, who's been pretty quiet this game, but it's just too late. They burst that so quickly with all the damage they have in the Infernal Soul, and they can easily just march down mid lane for the win at this point.
Very true. It's just way too much damage coming from a Kha'Zix isolated. Kaisa also AP damage. Way too much.
And here we go, the Super Minion is still being cleared here. We don't see any member of Fort Richmond on the map. We're looking at Windsor Park, who's just awaiting the Brigade right now, who's going to wait to see them march in and have one last stand to see if they can hold it off and survive a bit longer to give themselves a chance at a 1-1 series. But right now, it is looking like it is going to be a 2-0 championship point right now. Fort Richmond making their way into the red side base with Baron-empowered super minions, and this is where it comes down to they have to stop them here or they will have to stop them in Game 3 on championship point. Does Windsor Park have what it takes? Gwen taking some early damage here. We already see Zach going into the back line, and look at the damage on Misfortune. She falls so low. Min's doing what he can to melt him down, but the CC's coming through. There's too much crowd control, and there is a quick ace. Fort Richmond will go up 2-0 in the series, and Windsor Park has a lot of ground to cover in order to come back in this series for championship.
Really unfortunate there for Windsor. Infernal Soul, the Baron. What can you really do to stop that?
Yeah, of course. I'm going to pass it over to James here, see what he has to say.
Perfect. 2 minutes, everybody. 2 minutes. You have a minute 50 before we start. You're doing awesome, Bowser. Thank you.
There was no reason to give this heroin, right? There was sick, there was literally no reason. So like, yeah, like that's why I told you, well, like, you couldn't do I called you to come home. Couldn't you? I'm like,
Okay, so then what's the solution to the problem in terms of like, can like you kind of have like responsibility to like pass it on? If you hear Nico's name, just like tell him whatever it says. I know that doesn't make
Which one was window?
I've been trying to do that, but I can't always.
Oh, 3.
3? Okay.
So like Hans and Luke, if you hear Nico's name, help him out.
Would you put your game on orderless? Not window? Because what ends up happening, it changes my aspect ratio, and your whole screen, your screen is just really wonky when you're playing the game. Like in the game client itself, it won't. It's not necessarily in the lobby because it's too different. So if you can just go into practice real quick.
there was no reason to do it. Everything that I got it, I have nothing. There was no reason to do it. Like, I kind of understood the levels. Like, I kind of.
Yeah, because when we're in windowed, this changes the aspect ratio. So just yeah, change the setting. Yeah, I need it like this. Okay, perfect. Thank you. I was sitting here going, oh, one of them's different. All right, guys, 30 seconds.
Any good
Well,
feedback from you?
yeah. Okay. There you go. 25 seconds, guys. Position,
Oh
please.
yeah, so yeah, okay, let's just do it.
20.
I'll just go to first person.
Hey, don't mess with the shots. I only do.
So like
10, 9, 8, 7, 5,
There.
4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to this, the two best of 5 series we've had so far today. We're coming into Game 3 of Windsor Park versus Fort Richmond Black here in the A-side finals. It is championship point in favor of Richmond, or Fort Richmond, my apologies. And they're up 2-0 in the series. Let's take us through a little bit of the last game. What were really the key factors that we saw? There was a little bit of hope there for Windsor Park, but it just wasn't enough.
Quite unfortunate circumstances, honestly, for Windsor. Windsor got some very good team fights, but at the end, too much objective control from Fort Richmond got them Infernal Soul, got a Baron, or 2 Barons actually, and just ran down Windsor's base.
Yeah, and I think Newbie had an especially strong game on Kha'Zix that game. The second game in a row where every single objective, aside from, in this game there was one Rift Herald that was picked up by Snowix, but it was never even used. And just having that jungle control and the unfortunate steal to claim Infernal Soul really kind of sealed the deal in the game there, because there was no coming back with all that damage as we saw.
Yeah, definitely. Way too much poke coming out from Kha'Zix W's. Evolve Kha'Zix W slows a lot to Kai'Sa W's. And yeah, way too much poke, way too much damage. And Min on Gwen couldn't tank as much.
Yeah, we saw a lot of potential from Min there. It was a very strong game. I wouldn't even be opposed to another Gwen pick this game, but we'll see. They kind of have to take the Zac out of the equation, I think, as this is the second game where it's been a really big problem for Tank Zac top. It's just unkillable, and as we saw in that last fight with Baron and Infernal Soul, a full Tank Zac just one-shot a Misfortune 80 carry. That shouldn't be happening.
Yeah.
So we'll see here. I think the teams are about ready to go into Champion Select for game number 3. Is a potential for a sweep, but we always love to see a bit of variety here as we went to game number 5 in the B-side final against against Steinbach and GH Bruns. Just had to double check there. And here we are into Champ Select as we see Silas Band immediately being taken out by Windsor Park here. Still don't want to see Nachi on the Silas, as that pentakill in game number 1 was pretty shocking.
Definitely. And another Diana ban. Of course, Diana still very strong, still very meta. Don't want her anywhere picked.
Yeah, Viego going out of the way again. It seems like Fort Richmond is, well, both teams are pretty sticking to the same set of bans so far, especially Fort Richmond, who I don't think has changed a single ban as of yet. And Zach is taken out of the equation here. Zach ban coming through. Probably a smart play, as we saw. Just such a nuisance in both of the games we've had so far.
Although they do let Gordy get the, or no, that's actually on the side of Windsor.
Yeah. Wukong, who they were leaving up, they opted to ban the Misfortune this time, actually, which means that Wukong is instantly picked first, as we saw. It must be a very good comfort pick for Min in the top lane. Here we have a Rek'Sai, actually. I haven't seen a Rek'Sai in such a long time coming out, which is going to go into the hands of Newbie, I imagine, on Fort Richmond. But yeah, very interesting pick there, and a couple different build paths that you can go with her too.
Yeah, Rek'Sai right now is actually really, really strong. Basically the same as Kha'Zix, except Rek'Sai has a little bit more gank potential, knockups, and overall is just a better ganker than
Especially
Kha'Zix.
knockups, yeah. Nachi locking the Karma, but we don't know if that's going to be down to the support. It can always be mid lane as well. Nachi seems to be very good at expressing their skill, regardless of the champion they're playing, at least what we've seen so far.
Samira was not banned, so being picked up by Windsor there, Samira.
Samira, again, another champion, if you're comfortable on it, it works very well, but has had its fair share of nerfs from Riot Games for sure. But it always kind of has that secret spot where they can pop off very easily in team fights.
Karthus coming in the jungle. Very risky pick, definitely against into a Rek'Sai and the Pantheon now. Pantheon and Rek'Sai can both just invade the jungle and kill the Karthus.
That's going to be very dangerous, yeah. Very volatile pick for Karthus there. You know, the late game potential of having, you know, the powerful ults, but it can be very difficult to get that point, especially on a champion that's so dependent on just steadily scaling. If it's abrupt at all, it can be very critical.
Rek'Sai definitely has the upper hand here. Definitely, because Rek'Sai, very strong champion, and also wants to end the game before 20 minutes. But Karthus wants the game to go over like 30 minutes. So Rek'Sai would definitely want to invade a lot this game.
Yeah, especially with the added mobility of the burrow ability and being able to just go under walls and, like I said, knock up Karthus when you don't want to, as much as he has his E to deal that constant damage, it's going to be really difficult with a Rek'Sai on top of you to do anything there.
And on top of that, a Pantheon, right? Pantheon, W, Q, and E. Karthus might as well blow up.
Yeah, literally Pantheon, Rek'Sai, as you were saying, and then we'll see. We don't know where the Karma is going. It could be another assassin pick for Nazi for all we know. If that Karma is going into the bot lane, we're yet to see. We're just going into the second round of bans now. Zed taken out of the way, and Irelia, definitely a very strong pick, especially going into Wukong there. Here it looks like Osun is picking up the Xayah. So similar to game number 1, possibly. Again, we'll see, depending on what the next pick is, if this Karma is going to be slotted into the mid lane, into Nachi's hands, or if it's going to go in the favor of the support role on Ash Island.
Definitely Xayah is a really good pick here. A lot of things to dodge on this side of Windsor. Windsor has Samira, just in general, Samira, you want to dodge her, not let her get too much damage. Dodge Karthus ult, dodge Ahri Charm, and possibly a Blitzcrank hook now.
Wow.
Also Wukong. You could, yeah, Xayah, very safe pick, doing a lot of pokes, and then R-ing to stay safe.
And this might be a situation we might see the first invade of the day in all the games that we've seen so far, because with Blitzcrank with the hook potential, it can be so critical to get to pick level 1 and just get an early advantage into your team before lane phase even starts.
That is very true, but into this team, it could be very, very risky just because this team has a lot of early game damage.
Yeah, we do see the Vex being locked in, which means it is going to be Karma support. And Nachi on the reins of Vex in the mid lane. Again, as I mentioned before, I always love to see Vex in games. Lots of potential to pop off there. And we'll see how it goes. Again, Ari, a champion that we mentioned earlier, who is really, really strong right now with her new rework, lots of healing around her kit and whatnot, and her ult resets. So we'll see if it can be picked up in the right hands. It looks like Apathy is going into the mid lane again in the hands of Ari, which is awesome to see. And we'll see how it plays out.
Ari is definitely a good champion, but Vex, of course, still has that dashing mechanic, right? The more the enemy dashes, the more damage she does. And it could be very, very dangerous for Ari to dash in.
Yeah, very true, especially with all the potential they have, the Fear, the Rek'Sai, the Pantheon, as you were mentioning. And that's a team that will burst you down very quickly. So we'll see how it goes on both sides here. We do need to see a little bit of a step up from Windsor Park, as it is, as I mentioned in the last series, when you're at championship point, it's not like you just got to keep doing what you do, and it's up to Windsor Park to step up to the plate and change some things and show that they need to take a game off here.
Definitely.
So here you go, game number 3 is underway, and we have the teams splitting up. It doesn't look, I wonder if they're going to opt in for an invade with the Blitzcrank advantage, and we do see Windsor Park is taking the blue side of the map this game instead of red side. So we have red side with Fort Richmond, and we have 3 members kind of hovering around the river. We'll see if there's any potential play that comes, or maybe they're just going to look for a little bit of information at level 1. Here we go. It looks like actually Windsor Park is retreating as Fort Richmond is looking for an engage. A little bit of a different play considering the Blitzcrank is on the opposing team. We'll see, they don't have any vision. Is there any members of Windsor Park lurking around? Not quite, and that is a pretty free take of the red side of the jungle.
Of course, invading with a Pantheon support is also very, very good. Pantheon, press W, someone's stunned. Not much they can do. And with a team that has so much damage, like this one, that could be a kill very quick.
Yeah, absolutely. You said the Pantheon and Blitzcrank matchup is going to be very interesting. Again, this might be a matchup where Pantheon is opting for Hex Flash, just because you can hide in the bush and then come out and get that free point and click stun. But there's also Blitzcrank who can grab you out of that at the same time, and you know, it comes down to whichever AD carry support mat or duo is going to be more communicative and more comfortable together. So yeah, starting off, you see the W start from Ari here, just trying to get the early trades, and I believe the electrocute, if that's what she has there, a very easy way to get that off at early levels. And we'll see how long it takes this time. As you were mentioning, it's probably in the mind of Newbie to invade into the jungle of Snowinks because of how volatile Karthus is early on in the game. As much as the clear might be fast, it's going to be interesting if Rek'Sai decides to show up and deal with it. Ash Island is pulled under tower, takes a shot, and forced to flash out. But it looks like the level 2 trade, aside from the burn flash, did go in the way of Fort Richmond to start. But again, that Blitzcrank hook under tower is very dangerous, especially you already burned a free sum.
Of course, getting a little greedy with that level 2 advantage. But overall, not so bad. A lot of damage is still good for laning.
Yeah, forcing to use those potions and possibly biscuits if they have them as a rune. Karthus hovering around the bottom lane now, looking for maybe a potential pick here as they start to push up towards the tower. But we see here, again, the Xayah with the likely going lethality again. The poke in lane is going to be so critical, and they need to figure out a way. Is the Ignite going to kill Pantheon here? Not quite. Min showing that he is comfortable on Wukong, but not just enough to get the kill yet, and first blood is yet to be claimed by either team.
course, a lot of minions here under tower. And Nike might struggle to last at these.
Yeah, especially with the constant poke coming through from Ash Island and Osun. Karma, another support that's really good at just poking it down with her not only with her Q but with her ultimate enhancing it as well with the AoE effects. Could be very interesting to see how they can fare, because it's probably going to be a lot of that lane phase spent under tower.
Karma does get really annoying late game, definitely with her shield. So this is the time you want to shut her down.
And here we have a fight coming through. Looks like it is starting to go. First blood does go over to Nike on the Samira. A very good play, starting off with the grab from Bob's there. And nothing else will come of it. So that's a 1 for 0. A good kill to put in Samira's pocket for being shoved to her tower so much. That's a good way to even out the playing field.
Definitely, Samira can definitely become a problem late game. Does way too much damage.
Pantheon coming back to lane already, and we're looking for maybe a bit more fair trades here, but we know that Min seem to be very, very quick to locking that Wukong after the first ban phase, so I imagine that he's going to be keeping on the same amount of pressure for the majority of lane phase here. We'll see if Lonely can, or if Gordy can adapt to that. Now we already have vision coming around. The dragon is coming up in just 2 seconds, so we'll see if, again, Fort Richmond is really like to prioritize the early dragons, get the early advantage in the game. The one to start off is the Hextech Soul, so that's taken off the board as we've had a couple Hextech Dragon. We've had a couple Hextech Souls today, but this will not be one of those games. Min being forced under tower now and again. Just a lot of prio coming out from these lanes, and it's going to make it relatively easy for Newbie to at least get pressure on the dragon, but not necessarily take it yet.
Definitely.
Yeah, she just gets completely screwed. We have a much better scaling team, I think, because Zaya also doesn't scale.
And Karthus is just farming away at this, his jungle. Is exactly what he wants to do, not gank so much because he has no flash, only exhaust. So maybe potentially the laners can turn it on him because he's still very squishy.
Yeah, and we did just see Nachi hit 6, so immediately looking for a roam, trying to get capitalize on that ultimate with both summoners up as well. When Apathy on the other side of mid lane is still only level 5, trying to get those levels off. So we'll see if the ult comes down, if they can get anything else here. But we are looking at a bit of a safe lane. It seems like they might have seen it coming. There's a lot of vision for Fort Richmond in the bottom river, but not really a lot in terms of Windsor Park right now. So interesting that they back off there. Again, a very slow. This is probably the most patient start to the game from either team. We have Newbie again, as I mentioned, looking towards that early dragon, and it looks like it's going to go uncontested. They have the vision control in the river, and with the smite off just now, is going to secure Hextech Dragon that goes in the favor of Fort Richmond, still prioritizing that jungle control, and again, we're looking at possibly another very strong jungle performance from them.
I can't farm right now because we don't know where Rek'Sai is.
Now we have Rek'Sai looking for a play here. Flash to knock up Nike. He falls instantly. Is Blitzcrank going to get out? He is, but wow, what a good play to just quickly get the free kill on Samir there, and a good kill to pick up for I believe, one of the favor of Osa.
Yep, definitely. A very good, very fast gank right there. Flashing immediately, so Samira couldn't have time to react or flash.
Not even time to get her W off as well, and all the damage came out when she was knocked up, so there's effectively like a 360 wind wall not used during that critical moment. Definitely. So yeah, very good play there by Newbie to get the instant knockup. Now we have Bob's looking for the knockup, but again, Ash with the Karma W is just a very safe lane so far. If they can avoid the hook, generally they'll be okay, but we have both members of Windsor Park's bot lane looking for a bit of an advantage here. And look at that damage coming out from Zaya without even a full item completed yet.
Of course, there is a level difference right now. Zaya is already level 6. And we're seeing an ult come out here.
And the Samira Windmill comes out. Karthus ult is underway, but it's not going to be enough. And a beautiful ultimate by Zaya there with Osun to dodge the Blitzcrank hook, which really started that instigation there. But it looked like the damage possibly was there. I don't even know that
I do
Samir's
believe-
level 6, is she?
No, she is not.
So that could have been a game changer
Yeah.
as well.
Definitely getting more farm, getting a little bit more fed. Just because of that one gank from Newbie, Osun is definitely way higher level.
Yeah, absolutely. We see here, now we have Ash and Osun coming back with Bob's kind of like pretty low in health, but always that hook is always so critical. And I don't know if he has mana barrier up or not. But we're seeing Ash now. Nike is kind of using his wind wall defensively there as he was almost in a little bit of a sticky situation. And we have Karthus in the tri-bush just waiting to see if they overextend it all.
Karthus is very hard to get a gank off of, just because, yeah, he doesn't have flash in this game, only exhaust for the Rek'Sai invade, possibly. But Rek'Sai isn't actually invading all that much this game.
Yeah, Newbie on the Rex side picking up Rift Herald there as we see. Again, early Rift Herald for them, that means that they're going to get some good plates, which unfortunately wasn't done in the last game. And there we go, Samira, as soon as he hitting level 6, coming out with the ultimate, showing off the style points and picking up a double kill. Exactly what you want to be seeing from Windsor Park.
Definitely. Fort Richmond definitely just stayed a little too long there. Yep, and Nike waited to get level 6 and all in.
Yeah, for sure, and you know that, especially when they knew that the fight that previously happened with the Karthus ult definitely would have gone a different way if Samir had their ult up. I thought they would have been a bit more keen on looking out for the ability when it came up, but again, good on Windsor Park to capitalize on that, and a good double kill, and it gives them a pretty good advantage in the game to start off.
Definitely. Samir definitely will be a very big problem for Richmond to deal with. Samir, late game hyper carry, can definitely just 1v5 a whole team with her healing, with her damage.
There you go, yeah, and Min having a little bit of trouble engaging for any fights on Gordy is, again, Pantheon a very safe pick, especially whenever his E is up, just to mitigate all that damage, and especially with all those minions. Another fight breaking out in the bot lane, but this time, Newbie is there on Rek'Sai, and Turdagger was beautifully juggled, and Osa just doesn't quite, misses the auto, and does not get the kill on Bobs, but they were able to take down, Nike there for 1 for none.
But it might be a cleanup here for Ari.
Here comes Ari flashing with the Ignite. That's a double kill for Apathy there. What a very nice cleanup, as you were saying there. And now we're getting more, and Osun just still overextended the tower, and now that puts a kill in the hands of Snowinks. And now I speak too soon. Vexal comes in. Does she get the reset? Not quite. And another third kill. Or sorry, the double kill goes for Karthus, dead under tower there. And what a chaotic series of events, but definitely goes in the favor of Windsor Park.
Definitely. Fort Richmond trying to get whatever they can right now, salvaging any kills they can, getting as much gold as they can.
Yeah, very interesting. X-Hope gets CC'd by the Charm under tower on top of Karthus, constantly laying his abilities down after he dies as well. And that's a really big double kill to put into the hands of Karthus. We were saying, like, a lot of pressure on him if there were to be invades early into the game, but it just didn't seem to happen. And now Windsor Park's in a very safe spot right now in this game. And now we see Windsor Park looking towards the the Cloud Dragon, but a little bit too greedy as Newbie on the Rek'Sai is just there to clean up. Can Samir even get the ult off? Just barely, but a double kill going towards Newbie, and now it looks like they're going to take the second dragon, and again, a very strong jungle performance with all this objective control, and just kind of an overextend from Windsor Park.
Definitely, and also Newbie on Rek'Sai now has Prowler's Claw. Very good item on Rek'Sai, just a lot of damage.
A lot of damage, and being able to use that active to
yep, guarantee
teleport, dash themselves behind, and get that guaranteed knockup.
Yep.
A very, very big item to have, and lots of burst potential, like you were saying as well. And look at the burrows in the jungle. Just makes clearing the jungle so easily for Newbie, and being able to focus towards other lanes after the fact. And yeah, just an unfortunate way to get caught out there for a really big lead that was building there for Windsor Park, but it's good for Fort Richmond is clearly cracking down on what they need to do to still come back.
Yep, they did not expect Rek'Sai to head straight down to the dragon once again, and yeah, they stayed a little too long.
Now the Rift Herald just being used because it was going to run out on the cooldown. Is it even going to get off in the mid lane, I wonder? I think it is. That's unfortunate. It's free plates, almost 3 plates going towards Fort Richmond there, and some really good gold to pick up, and also just having that damage on the mid tower, because tier 1 mid is so important to get jungle pressure and objective control.
Definitely.
Sorry, I was clearing my throat there, but we did see Min again on a killing spree, solo killing Gordy for the 3rd time in this game, and we can really see why Wukong was being banned in these first 2 games. But now a fight's breaking out in the bot lane. Nike with the full Samira ult coming down, and Karthus is going to take down Karma with his ultimate and clean up, giving the assist to Nike. And again, a 1v2 scenario there, was it? Or was Blitzcrank there at the start?
It was a 2v2, yeah.
2v2, so it was a 1-for-1 there on both sides.
Of course, now Karthus is starting to scale. A lot of damage coming up from him. And yeah, he's going to be a problem for late game.
Yeah, and a lot of situational builds that might come out here for having the Karthus up. I expect a Zanya's Hourglass in the hands of Vex under Nashi, of course. Just being able to mitigate that damage whenever you can, because as soon as you see that ultimate appear above your head, you know there's going to be a lot of damage coming through.
Definitely all the AD champions want to pick up Maul or a Hex Drinker just to negate all that burst.
Yeah, especially with 3 kills under his belt now. That's going to be very dangerous to see. Karthus jungle, again, on the rise, you know, a couple seasons ago, but it's been kind of in and out of the meta. But it's being made work right now this game by Snowwinks, who has had a little bit of a quieter start to the series, but it's showing itself now. A fight's breaking out. The flashes come out from Vex, but here comes the Pantheon ult from the sky, and that is a double kill for Nashi, who we've been seeing so strong so far in the series.
Very good engage there from Nachi. Good use of skills, good use of his fear, and yeah.
Yeah, showing the double kill, and wow, what an impactful fight there. They're just keeping it. They want to crawl back into this game. They're not letting it snowball whatsoever. They're keeping it. They still have a little ways to go, but they have the extra objectives. Here's Min again, showing off his skill on the Wukong. Dodges the charm with his W. Is he going to get another? He takes down Newbie on the Rex side, and Gordy's going to fall to a triple kill for Min there on what seems to be his pocket pit Wukong. Now we move down to the bottom lane, and Osan gets a beautiful ultimate with his recall. Wow, what a solo kill there from him.
A lot of things happening on the map, but definitely Min went off. Triple kill for Wukong, and of course Karthus just to pick off the Zaya.
Yeah, a little bit of a cleanup crew from Karthus, putting another kill under his belt, but this is giving Rift Herald over to Windsor Park for free. Well, not for free, at the expense of multiple team fights going on at once. But it's good to get that extra objective, some good damage on one of the towers, as long as they can get it off this time. And Dragon is up in a little under 60 seconds now, as we're going to see both teams sort of make their way around to that side of the map. So we see here, Vision is definitely in the favor of Fort Richmond right now at this point, and for an opportunity to put themselves on Soul Point, which really is what put the nail in the coffin for last game's winning condition. It's definitely something they want to look for this game. They have a Mountain Soul in their favor this game if they are able to pick it up. Again, not as much damage, but just extra sustainability and survivability when it comes to team fighting.
Definitely, this Wukong is huge right now. Not much can be done about him. Not enough damage from Fort Richmond to kill a Wukong with Divine Sunder.
Yeah, now we see both teams again hovering just around the bot side river, because Windsor Park knows even though they're ahead currently, this Dragon to put them on Soul Point for Fort Richmond is still very critical for them for what is a very close game so far in game number 3. So they want to be able to pick this up again, just not even to delay the Soul, but to delay the Soul Point, because I believe they might be able to even pull this game out before Soul is taken by either team. But now Min's looking a little caught out. He's looking a little worse for wear. Vex ult comes through, some good damage. Min is retreating in the back, but does fall. Newbie's picking up a couple kills. Min's still in the fight, and Ari's able to pick up the kills now too. Newbie getting all the damage off the Prowler's Claw, is coming in clutch, but no dashes left on Apathy. Is able to get a kill and get out, but Nachi also coming out with more kills there.
A very close team fight there. Min just got caught out. Min, if he didn't get caught out, probably would have won the fight there. For
And look
Windsor.
at that, with 4 members of Windsor Park down, that is the 3rd Dragon going towards Fort Richmond. And that's the whole point again for like such like just very, very good managing of the jungle from Newbie, as we've seen every single game in the series so far.
Definitely.
Now we see, Soul Point again in 5 minutes. The Carthus Assault came through but did not take any members of Fort Richmond. So the damage, which probably would have been healed as they were planning on resetting anyways, just an unfortunate, and they have to wait for the next cooldown there. Baron is up in less than a minute now, so we'll see, I imagine, the vision start to shift towards the top side of the map. And again, Gordy, who's having a little bit of a tough game on Pantheon, is still there to shove the wave out, exactly what you need there from your team, and then sort of rotating down and grouping up with your team to work together.
Definitely.
Now we see the damage on Nachi is going to start to unleash here. Vex, as soon as they get a few items under their belt, the damage, especially off of her passive with detonating every time her passive goes off. And holy, Newbie with a double kill, just so much damage coming out there from their combo, as what I thought might have been a bit of a cleanup from Nike on Samira with the ult, just instantly gets burst down. Now we have the Ahri on Apathy, is planning on taking off the kill there, but now we have the turret being taken down in the bot lane, and no fight is going to come as a result on the top side of the map, but still very interesting to see the double kill from Newbie there for what I thought was going to be a profitable fight for Windsor Park.
Of course, because Newbie is going for a more AD focused build, not a tank. A lot of assassin stats here. They're doing a lot of damage with his Q, his E, and his ult.
And already, as you said, with the Malmortius, very smart play, especially with 5 kills and first strike onto Karthus there. Opting into a Death Stance right now. Again, we've talked about how strong that item is currently as well, with the all sources of damage reduction into burn. So yeah, Newbie is just definitely taking the driver's seat right now. He does not want this game to go, or does not want the series to go on any farther. He's trying to end this game right here, right now.
Yeah, it is in the meta to go Malmortius and Death Stance right now. Resistances against both AP and AD, super tanky, but a lot of damage too.
Yeah, the Karthus Assault coming through again. Again, just trying to look for some chip damage, but not really picking up any kills that you might be looking for.
Actually, a first strike on Karthus with an ult can get you a lot of gold just by pressing R.
Yeah, you're right. I wasn't even thinking about that, especially on 5 members of their team, if everybody's alive. So definitely possibly looking to just finish off an item, or just, again, getting like a free 100 to 200 gold based on your damage numbers from first strike. You're absolutely right. Now we have, if you look at the vision on the side of Windsor Park, it's lackluster right now. A couple wards on the bot side, but in terms of Baron, where the focus has really shifted right now, they don't have any vision, so they're going in effectively blind.
And that is just the use of, or taking towers, right? No towers means you can't go up as far, you can't ward as far, and yeah, it's very dangerous to ward farther.
And that's a problem we've been seeing with Windsor Park in all 3 of these games so far, is that they're struggling to get towers, which means they're also struggling to get vision. And when you're losing out on towers and not giving back on that same result, if you're not taking them, you're essentially just conceding a portion of your jungle, because it's just too dangerous to walk into it, which is what we're seeing here. And now we see Fort Richmond starting to make its way up the river, possibly looking towards a Baron play here. Windsor Park has just finished resetting, so we'll see if they're going to start it here and maybe get an early start on the Baron. Or are they going to start a team fight here? The Wobble comes out. Min is instantly bursted down. That is going to be the fight for them. And Vex is going in for the ult reset. Can she get the damage off? Not quite, and they're going to retreat. They could easily take Baron here, but Snowinks doesn't want enough. The Zombies come out from Nachi, and now the Karthus ult. How many is he going to take? The Samira ult is coming down. So many members are dropping from both sides. Double kill for Karthus, and Samira taking Ahri, taking the double kill as well. And what a flip-flop of events, and Windsor Park comes out on top of that fight.
Fort Richmond there went a little too far under tower, taking a lot of damage from Karthus E, because after he dies, he just stands there doing a lot of damage to their team under tower. And yeah, a little bit of an overextension.
A little bit, very much an overextension there, I'd say. I was very surprised that after the first 2 picks that they didn't just instantly retreat and go start the Baron, but they wanted to commit to the fight, and as you said, the damage for Karthus after he dies under the tower is just, like, he is very strong right now with first strike and all the kills he's been getting. Now you see Windsor Park is starting to start the Dragon, but the problem is they don't have their jungler there quite yet, and Newbie's going in trying to look for the steal, but is instantly taken down, and Nike is going to take down Gordy as well, it looks like, and they just went in way too early for that. So they're going to take that that Dragon and prevent Soul Point for at least another 5 minutes.
Fort Richmond did get a little too desperate there, trying to go for a steal, but it was not even that low. Of course, no vision, so he had to try no matter what.
Yeah, if you can't see the Dragon as well, you don't know what health it's at. It's just kind of a guessing game at that point, but Windsor Park doing a very good job of just stalling the Dragon out and putting all the focus onto Newbie on the Rex side there. And a very easy kill, and then having Gordy there as an added bonus is very good for them to take the Drag. So we see we still have a struggle. The mid lane tower has fallen for Windsor Park, or they've taken the mid lane tower is what I mean. So we do a little bit of extra pressure in the jungle there, and they have the upper hand in the game right now. It's just, we've seen the potential of Fort Richmond already, and we see Rek'Sai sensing someone on the other side of this wall, but is it going to be enough? Not quite. Opting out, they don't want to overextend because they don't have the vision that far into the jungle yet. But again, we're looking around the Baron here as Dragon's been taken, so it's out of commission for the next few minutes. If either team can get that up, which in this case, with the added turret advantage for Fort Richmond, they have an easier time getting to that pit, I'd say.
Definitely.
Now we have Windsor Park gathering around the mid lane. Again, they're making their way into the top side of the jungle, but just no vision really. And if you look, the Baron's already been started, but it looks like they're going to peel off because they don't want to get caught out in a situation that they're not comfortable in fighting in, especially with all, not the entirety of their team ready there, with Pantheon in the bot lane splitting out for the turret.
Definitely not as much damage coming from Fort Richmond to the Baron this time. Champions like Rek'Sai and Xayah not that great at taking Baron. But on the side of Windsor, actually, Karthus can pretty much do all the damage by himself on Baron and take it very quickly.
Yeah, on top of Samir as well, but especially with lethality Xayah as well, just not having that attack speed is really tough for taking an objective with so much health, because once you use your cooldowns, there's only so much you can do. Not to say that, not to discredit that auto attacks on lethality Xayah aren't very impactful, but yeah, you're absolutely right. I'd say that the Karthus all coming through here. Oh my goodness, look at that damage. And that is a lot of gold that will be going into Snow Inks' pocket there. It's almost like when the ult comes out, it's almost forcing them to reset with how low they get on the health there.
Definitely. Karthus got way too fed, ulting everywhere, getting kills, and he's skilled up, you know. Way too much damage now. Rek'Sai definitely should have shut him down early game.
Yeah, and we see now Baron has been started again by Fort Richmond. Are they going to commit to this? They're trying to get the damage off. They don't really have any vision of any of the members of Windsor Park. And we see here it is falling below half health, but we see Wukong on the bottom side of the map. This might just be a Baron sneak here. It's falling down to the health, and this is going to be a free Baron sneak. But oh look, the Blitzcrank hook comes through, and this is going to be a fight, but they're still not looking too healthy because of the Cars Assault prior. Samir is falling down, the Hextra comes out with a clutch shield, but Min is there trying to clean up the kill, and Ash Island is trying to peel. It's just not enough, as Newbie is going to fall down too. And now members of, at cost of Baron, members of Fort Richmond have been able to walk out alive, but Windsor Park still punching. It is a 2-for-2 though, so I definitely say that's worth for Fort Richmond.
Definitely. Getting a Baron, sacrificing a little bit, it's all worth it in the end.
Yeah, but a very well executed fight after the fact there, with Windsor Park coming in just a little bit too late, but not giving up just yet. And again, Bob's on Blitzcrank this game has been so impactful with the hook and just basically getting a free pick every time it's hit, which is what we saw there to get one of the kills.
Definitely.
Now we have Dragon coming up in less than a minute. Again, this is sole point for Fort Richmond, and all members of both teams will be up for this fight. We'll see what can be done here. With the Baron buff being able to shove in these lanes a lot quicker, I'd say that Fort Richmond is going to have a good time getting to this pit, setting up vision and trying to get in early control of this objective that they really want.
When's your ult up? Min.
There you go, and Min spotting out Osun in the mid lane. Min has been having a very strong game, currently sitting at 10-2 on the Wukong, but we do know that this is kind of the peak of what it gets, as it'll start to fall off a little bit damage-wise from here on out.
Definitely, but he is building a Death Stance Sterex, getting a little bit more tanky to tank and do more damage with his R.
Yeah, absolutely, and yeah, just being able to stay alive in these fights is going to be critical. As there was a couple fights earlier in the game where we saw he just got instantly burst down, but that's not what you want for your 10-2 top laner. Dragon has been started now. It's going down quick, but Windsor Park is quickly there to retaliate, and it looks like the Dragons are going to be conceded just like that. The Pantheon ult comes in, Blitzcrank is down, and Karthus is down too, but the ultimate is surely going to come out from this. Min is hitting a great ultimate. Can he get more? Ash is going to fall, but Min, so much damage coming out of the Zhonya's, but this Cloud, the Mountain Soul goes in favor of Fort Richmond, and Min's going to die, and that's the ace! The Drag Soul and the ace, and they're going to push down mid lane with only one member fallen.
Very good team fight there. Again, Xayah, Vex, right? Very safe picks, and along with these two bruisers with Ma, they just tanked the Karthus ult.
And Nachi just playing that fight beautifully, getting all the damage off, and at the most critical time just before Min is able to get the second Wukong ultimate off, using that Zhonya's Hourglass that has been so critical in this game. Look at all the objectives they're getting for this. They might even make a push for not quite a Nexus Tower, because there's members of the team coming up, but an Inhibitor and Drag Soul off of that fight is so huge for them. So we don't want to see an overextend here in terms of Fort Richmond. We've seen it before. They are just clearing the jungle before they back off here. And again, no really major objectives on the map with Baron and Dragon now gone. And now we're going to be looking at Baron and Elder Dragon probably being contested around the same times here when we get into this game. And I'd say that this is just about evened up in terms of momentum.
Definitely. In terms of Elder Dragon, they definitely do not want a Karthus with Elder Dragon.
Oh no.
That is one of the worst champions to let have the buff.
Especially with how strong Karthus is already in this game. Snowy sitting at 867, but almost full build already. That just shows the perks of First Strike, regardless of how you're doing. He's getting so much gold, and we've seen the damage potential off his ultimate as well. But yeah, a little bit on their back foot now. I'd say that the next fight could certainly decide the game, but the problem is that Windsor Park does not have a whole lot of objectives still. Actually, objective bounties on the board for Windsor Park right now, which means that they're down on gold at this point because they haven't really gotten as many turrets or objectives as Fort Richmond.
Definitely. And they are still a little bit under-leveled for where they're at in the game, since they have been focusing on fights and they haven't been farming as much.
Yeah, and especially having that Mountain Soul to sort of counteract Karthus's ultimate with the extra shield and the added resistance is going to be really big as well. But there's not a lot to stop. Like when Karthus gets to 5 or 6 items, it's going to be really difficult to play around that. So I think they definitely want to stop him before he gets that final item finished.
Wait, no, wait. I accidentally sold you.
Here you have again, Apathy or Windsor Park just kind of turtling and waiting out. The Baron buff has gone away now, but we see just with the super minions coming in through the mid lane, it's tough for them to push out of the base at all. Baron is up in less than a minute, but we see Fort Richmond pushing for this inhib tower here. Definitely going to fall. Is the inhib going to fall before Windsor Park can retaliate? This is championship point. They don't want to over-aggress too hard as we see the hook comes through, and that is Newbie falling down. He does have Guardian Angel. Here comes the Pantheon ult. Nachi is on a killing spree now, but Ash Island is taking down Bombs. Bombs is going to fall as well, but the Karthus ult doesn't quite land as 2 members of the Zhonya's fall. And Fort Richmond is going to get another ace. Could this be it? Could this be the championship? It is! And the Nexus Towers will surely fall. This will be the game as Fort Richmond is going to take a 3-0 series sweep. and win the Provincial A-Side Championship.
Very good team fight from Fort Richmond there. Very exciting.
Congratulations to Fort Richmond Black, a very dominating performance we saw here today, and obviously a huge shout out to Windsor Park as well, performing valiantly, especially in that last game, trying to pull everything they had together to take a game and have a chance at the series, but very well played all around. So yeah, that last fight there, we saw that for so long in the game that Fort Richmond was really on their back feet, and Windsor Park was in control for so long there. But it really came down to those last two team fights where Fort Richmond just kind of took control, had the communication, and completely wiped in the team fights.
Of course, Fort Richmond's comp is very, very heavy on damage, and Karthus, very squishy, can get caught out a lot.
Yeah, and we saw, like, as soon as Fort Richmond started to build around the Karthus, having the Zani's Hourglass for the AP champions, I think every AD champion had a Maul of Malmortius built up there just for the extra survivability in the fights. On top of the Mountain Dragon Soul, it showed to be so impactful. It's quite literally the reason why they were able to win those fights.
Definitely.
So I'll call Windsor Park up here to get the finals banner and second place medals. Good job, guys. Well fought. You want to come up here? Thank you very much for coming out and competing. Some absolutely fantastic games, and we'll see you next year.
You're supposed to go.
Congratulations on the Windsor Park. All right, we'll get everyone to see up next for the presentation of the championship banner. As chosen by our casters, the MVP for the championship A-side is Louis Girl.